Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Shattered Earth, episode 48. In the last episode, we began a new chapter, a new perspective on the game as we switch to 8 months after Scholar's March had gone through the Altar of Blood and Shadow and just barely escaped with their lives. Getting a new group who had been invited through various means to the coronation of Prince Brom Onic, which was then summarily interrupted by assassins crashing through the windows and attempting to take his life, which eventually happened anyway due to poison that they had coated their blades with. Uh, New characters were conscripted by Prince Ursival to hunt down and dismantle what is left of the Red Tide, which is the group of assassins that had been sent to kill Brom, using various means such as, in the cleric's case, speak with dead and all that fun stuff. They were able to determine some information about the whereabouts of a hideout that these assassins had seemingly used as a base prior to their arriving in the capital city, as well as some other information about just who or what may be behind all this. So we'll go ahead and start there. I believe we last left off basically in the basement of um, the prison known as the Rogue's Isle in the capital city of Onic. Um, you guys had pretty much asked all your questions of the corpses. Is there any other questions for Praetor Grimvale, who's also there? Going once, going twice.
I think we pretty much asked all the questions our player character brains can muster.
Sure. Okay. So after your interrogation session, if it can be called that, with the corpses being your subjects, you guys leave the Rogue's Isle and get back on your little rowboat and make it back to shore. Um, and the rest of the day is yours to plan and do with as you wish. Oh, by the way, um, Praetor Grimvale gave you each a scroll, a small written note rolled up and sealed with wax with the royal seal on it. Um, and he said, "These will get you horses from the stable, perhaps make your ride a little bit easier as you travel towards your next destination."
Thankful. Royal decree.
Yes. By royal decree, give these fuckers horses. So each one will give you possession of a riding horse to use.
Yay.
Other than that, the day is yours. What would you want to do?
We have a general location of where we need to go, right? Correctly, we got something of a location.
Yes. The
Do we still want to visit my professor?
This is also true.
I've had a bit of a week last week, so I don't remember a lot of what we did last session.
So the lead you have is a town called Guile. It's on the kind of north side of Cernan province. If you guys are looking at the map at the moment, you also had talked briefly about visiting Professor Dryalis, I believe, was your head of the professors that you wanted to go see.
Well, I didn't say the name, but yes.
Yeah. I mean, it's the only female faculty. We could have sussed that out on our own. Okay. So, up to you guys what you want to do.
I guess there's no harm in stopping by the school and figuring out what's going on.
Yeah.
All right. So, gathering your things, you begin to walk across town through the market district, up the hill to where Thogorist Academy sits. You can see that when you get there, there are several students in their school robes and attire, just kind of milling about, not really doing anything. A lot of them are basically enjoying the week off, considering the horrible event that happened. A lot of stuff has been postponed for the time being, given that the assassination happened, and the wizards from the academy have likely been called to take care of some stuff themselves. So classes, at least for the time being, are canceled.
Yeah, it could be worse. We could have fucking Red Guys gang.
Yeah. Like that would ever happen. Wink, wink. So making your way through the hallways, I'm assuming you know where your professor's classroom is. So you lead them through the various hallways in one of the buildings, till you come across a door marked with Professor Dryalis's name on it.
I knock 3 times and wait patiently.
After a moment, the door swings open on its own, and at the far side of the room, sitting at her desk, is the tall, lithe form of Professor Dryalis. Currently, her hair is pulled up into a tight teacher's bun, and she's wearing a pair of spectacles on her face as she appears to be poring over several documents on the table in front of her, which, as she sees you, she gathers up and puts to the side and says, to what do I owe the pleasure?
I beg your intrusion, my dear professor, but unfortunately, this is a business call rather than pleasure.
I was informed that you were a part of the unfortunate incident that occurred yesterday. I assume this has something to do with that.
Yes, we are looking for somebody who knows about certain kind of poison.
Of poisons?
Mm-hmm.
We don't really...
Are we all there, or is it just you?
Assuming you followed him.
All right.
Yeah.
Let's see. We don't really teach poisons, per se, in this academy, but there is a potions class headed up by Professor Berghest that perhaps would be of use to you.
Oh, I am surprised to hear that. Woman of your talent? Not knowing something?
My focus is mainly on etymology, dear. I'm not a physical minded intellectual. My expertise has more to do with people and how they've changed and communicated over the years. I'm afraid poisons are a bit out of my wheelhouse.
I'm just thinking, like, in the back of my mind, I'm just like, is he implying that she would know poisons because she's a drow? Is that what you're trying to imply?
It's a,
What?
No, she's just smart. Yes, Professor Berghast, professor of physics. He's down the hallway, round the corner to the left. His class has been cancelled, as have all of our faculty's classes, I'm afraid. So Professor Berghast will be in his office.
You do communication, yes? You just said?
I do. Mostly deciphering ancient texts and breaking magical code and such that people have found and need translating.
Would that include coded messages?
It would, yes.
Because we part of what we're kind of looking into is well, whoever we're looking after happens to like using coded messages. It's really fucking confusing.
I was informed
Yes.
of the note that was found on the body of the water ganassi. I had the chance to examine it myself, though I'm afraid I can't decipher what it was that was actually on that paper. It is hidden in code, yes, but it's magically concealed, and breaking that magic, I'm afraid, will erase the entire message.
Frost, Guille, but he hasn't given his name, so I'm going to call him Frost for now. To the other Dragonborn and Draconic, basically says, "Shh, we should ask if we can peruse the library."
Hold on a second.
Was your no draconic?
Probably, I'm just checking. Yes. In Draconic back, she says, of course you can. You have our library at your disposal, my friend.
Just looks at her wide-eyed.
I'm a professor of languages, dear.
What is a professor?
A teacher. In simplest terms.
Just nods. Where is library?
Now, if
Damn.
If
Ask
they-
further actually gets completely ignored.
I thought he said some other shit. What did
Library.
you say? Library?
Yes. Where?
The library is not in this building. It's in the main building in the center of the courtyard. Near the center of the courtyard, I should say. You can't miss it. Currently, there's a lot of students there catching up on old homework.
Yes, I noticed how most students are spending their time instead on leisure.
Yes, well, some are spending their time on leisure. Others are cooped up in their dorms. Thankfully enough, they've decided that study is more important than a week off.
My character's just gonna go to the library without a word.
Sure. I am working, by the way, on a method to decipher the magical code written on that page. But I'm afraid this kind of thing has... it's never been done before, and it takes some time to research how to correctly procure a magical message, such as the one written on the note in her pocket. When we have the information, I'm sure if you're working with Praetor Grimvale, he'll pass it along to you. But until then, I'm afraid that whatever coded message there is out of our reach.
A shame, really.
Yes, for now. I have confidence in my abilities and the abilities of my co-workers.
I do have to inquire on personal level on something.
Yes.
Whatever happened to that the other adventuring party you were originally supposed to introduce me to?
Well, they left for Arival sometime about a year ago, and over the past 8 or so months, I've lost contact with them entirely. I'm assuming they're out doing whatever it is they're doing. Last I heard, they were investigating ruins of some sort. 8 months of no contact. I'm afraid something might have happened to them. I've tried looking into their locations, but my magic has been unable to find them as of yet, so either they are dead, unfortunately, and gone, or they're being, blocked by something. Perhaps they don't wish to be found. Perhaps they've procured anti-scrying magics. It's hard to know for sure.
Shame, really.
It is. I'm sure you would have loved the New World.
Perhaps they found the portal to go all the way to the moon.
If only. No, I suppose, though, you found your own form of adventure with these gentlemen, although it was under poor circumstances, I must admit.
I admit we do have a rapport of some sort, but we are more of a party of convenience for now.
Yes, well, that's how many adventuring groups start out, isn't it? As long as you play nice with each other, I'm sure you'll get along fine. Is there anything else I can do for you? I must really get back to my work if there's nothing else.
No, Professor, I believe we have taken up enough of your time. Thank you for it, by the way. And we shall inquire about the poison from the potions master.
Very well.
Unless any of you else have a question for my dear professor. Looks at the party.
I was already gone, so.
Yeah, you dipped out.
Darius was looking like, oh, alright, also already ran off.
By the way, why does he keep on switching languages? That's quite rude.
I don't know. And
Your guess is as good as mine. He's apparently from Arval. I'm not, so.
He likes the secret club thing, I'm sure. The languages provide a certain amount of freedom of communication when those around you rarely speak it.
I was born here in Onyx, so I know nothing about Arval.
Fair enough.
I suppose there's merit in your words, Professor, but that seems more like a fraternity behavior.
Some people are as simple as that. All right, off you go.
Goes toward.
Right, once again, thank you for your time, and I leave for the door.
Alrighty. I'm going to cut over to Monsieur Guille over at the library now. You make your way outside the building and past several groups of students talking with each other, studying and practicing magic in front of the steps of the library. You enter this guy, I think it was a 3-story building, if I remember correctly from the last time I described it. The ground floor has a reception desk in it, where there is a woman dressed in the purple robes with the insignia of the college on it, who greets you at the door. I gotta remember how to do my Midwestern accent. Oh, hi there. Yes, here we go. Yeah, there we go, hon. Hey there. Oh, wow, you're big. What can I do to help you, son?
I need to research poisons.
Okay, that's kind of weird request. What?
It's for work with the king.
I don't doubt it. What? You got any kind of proof there? Because the library is only open really to students and faculty. Are you working with somebody? Do you have a kind of a proof of that?
I have the sending stone, the royal sending stone for the one dude. Does that count?
Uh, no, because it's just a setting stone. But you do have a piece of paper with the royal seal on it.
Oh yeah, I show that.
Sure. She looks it over and says, "Well, that is the royal seal, all right. That's for certain. All right. I mean, this is a requisition for a horse. Let me give somebody a call real quick here." He reaches under the desk and pulls out a like another sending stone, and kind of like concentrates on it for a second and says, "Excuse me, Professor Ivan. There's a gentleman here downstairs who say they're working for the king. They've got a royal seal. Said they're looking into poisons. Does that mean anything to you?" She kind of, her eyes like roll up towards the ceiling for a second. Uh-huh. All right, cool. Gotcha. Certainly, yeah. So I don't know, we don't really carry a lot of like literature on brewing poisons, but if you're looking for something specific, there's sections over this way.
I nod and follow.
What are you looking for, hon?
It was called the Midnight. Fucking.
Oh yeah, the
I-
Midnight Tears. Yeah, I understand. Yeah, that's probably in the M section here. Let's go over this way. She leads you to a row of books that are 26 rows of books that just piled up toward the back of the room. Each one marked with a specific letter denoting their topics. She grabs a ladder that is leaning up against the bookshelves themselves and moves it over to a specific section. Climbs it and begins to pull books off the shelves for you. She pulls about 5 different books off of the shelves and hands them all to you after coming down. He says, "All right, so this is pretty much the basics on the Midnight Tears there. This one is like uses throughout history, mentions of it. This one over here is like the botany, how to grow the plants necessary to brew the potion in the first place, as well as gathering the other ingredients. And then this is over here like just a general manual of poisons. So if you want to learn some other stuff, Midnight Tears is mentioned, but there's other poisons in there as well."
Thank you.
Yeah, you're certainly welcome. You're welcome to have a seat over at one of those tables in the corner there. Just kind of keep yourself tucked away there. We don't want to disturb the other students.
He just nods and moves over there and starts cracking open the books.
Right. She goes back to her desk and begins scribbling into a book while you do that. Go ahead and make me a investigation check with advantage because you are using the library. And then let me know, what exactly are you trying to research? Just anything or specific things?
I'm trying to look up the specific ingredients used to make this poison and where those ingredients are generally found. Because my thinking is, like, we're trying to reverse engineer how the fuck this managed to happen, and one of the key ingredients is the poison. So if we could figure out where the poisons come from, maybe we can figure out where to start looking for more clues.
Okay. So, first of all, the DC is not super high on this one. So I can give you this. I can give you Midnight Tears typically is a poison that is called the Midnight Tears because whoever it affects does not feel the effects or have to worry about the effects of it until midnight. For whatever reason, the stroke of midnight causes the poison to activate. If the poison has not been neutralized before then, the creature would feel the effects of the poison, and generally speaking, it's kind of a hard poison to avoid. And it does a lot of damage to the body's internal systems. Normally, the Midnight Tears poison is ingested. There is no mention in any of your books of Midnight Tears being applied to a weapon and used that way. Normally, Midnight Tears is has to be imbibed, meaning ingested at some point, to activate the effects of it.
But this was stabbed into someone's gut.
Yes. The mention of the poison was that it was a modified version of Midnight Tears. So at some point, somebody made a version of Midnight Tears that was applied upon injury to another creature, and managed to have it coat the blade of the assassins.
Can I ask the woman up front for like parchment and a writing implement so I can take notes?
Sure. She gives you a stack of papers and an inkwell and quill.
And then, does it say anything about the ingredients and where typically to find them?
With a 12, you know that the ingredients are generally hard to find. There is not a lot of information on what those ingredients are in this place, at least not that you can find. You know there are some rare plants that grow in certain areas, usually around graveyards, and that only bloom at night. There's like a flower that only blooms at night that is part of the concoction of the poison. But mentions of other rare ingredients are just that. They're mentions of quote-unquote other rare ingredients. So there's a big chunk of the list of stuff missing from the recipe to make this, at least in this place.
Is one of the ingredients night's foil?
Not that you know. The ingredient mentioned is a specific flower that is like an offshoot of nightshade that blooms only at midnight, that grows near graveyards. It does not make mention of night's foil specifically. Night's foil is more of a moss. This flower that's mentioned is just that. It's a flower. It's not necessarily a moss.
I'm making note of it. Whatever name it is, I write it down to see if any of the others can pick up anything.
Sure. It's called Midnight Shade. It's like a variant of Nightshade. Nightshade
Very
blooms
clever.
all the time.
I like
Midnight Shade, of course, only blooms at midnight. Okay.
They really wanted this fucker dead.
Oh yeah. I mean, you're assassinating the king. You better get it right, right? So shifting focus back to the group here, the other people in the group who are traveling to Fenris Berghest's office. Same thing. Knock on the door. From within inside of the room, the two clerics with your higher passive perception hear a lot of clattering and glass bottles hitting glass bottles and bouncing off of each other and moving around inside. When you knock on the door, the clattering stops for a moment and then continues for a brief second, and then he says, "My office hours are in about 10 minutes. You'll have to wait until then."
Excuse me, Professor?
Yes?
We're actually looking for you.
Yes, I understand. If you're having trouble with your homework, we can discuss in 10 minutes when I am done cleaning up the dangerous things I am brewing here in the fucking room.
We're not. Well, at least I'm not. Not anymore. Students, sir. We're here on the King's degree.
He just pauses for a moment and says, "Well, why didn't you say so?" And then the door swings open. You can see a very, like, um, you can see a very, like, tired-looking, haggard Professor Berghast. Human male, kind of unshaven, hair kind of a silver and gray, that is now instead of what you're used to seeing him as, is disheveled and all over the place as if he had slept on it and then not been able to like shower or anything for a couple of days. Currently,
My man's had a bit of a day.
yeah, currently bent over several beakers and Bunsen burners, with full of like bubbling liquid, and you can see like small wooden bowls filled with crushed herbs of some kind sitting on the tables. And the whole laboratory inside of his office is a mess. He's normally not this. Normally, this room has not been turned into a potions laboratory. He's had to kind of, throw one together in order to do whatever it is he's doing in here. He says, I am very busy, but make it quick. We can talk about things.
What are you doing here, Professor? What have you been working on?
I am trying to gather poison things. I'm assuming that you know what is going on because you are from the king. But I am trying to determine the specifics about the poison that was used on the Prince Brahm, unfortunately. Yes. May he rest in peace.
Can I do insight check?
Yeah, sure.
Same. I also want to make one because I'm
Untrustworthy motherfucker.
I don't think I have enough time for guidance.
No.
I mean, Darius
He would
is
see you
partially
casting
like
a spell.
Yeah.
I mean, you have no reason to doubt him. He seems. I mean, he just told you like, "Hey, I'm working on the poison." that's was used to kill the king here. I'm trying to figure out what the fuck is up with it.
Yeah, it's like I was trying to see if he's lying, if he's the one that made it or not.
well, what they call it? Midnight Tears.
Yes, Midnight Tears is a variant of Midnight Tears. It's strange because it's normally the Midnight Tears poison is you have to eat it or drink it or something. It's been used to assassinate people at dinner time mostly. But from my understanding, this was used in the culting of a weapon, and this is very unusual for this type of poison.
Do we know for certain that it was like on the weapon, VG?
Yes.
Well.
Look, I don't have a lot of material to work with here, but I'm doing my best.
We're hoping if you could give us any more information than what we got on the poison, possibly lead.
I swear you people at the palace just want everything right away. It's crazy. Alright, here, look. As I've told you people before, I am working on it. I understand that it is a very important issue, but these things take time to figure out, okay? I'm doing my best here.
I'm a smith. I'm no gardener, but my mom was. Couldn't they mess with the plant, and that would have effect on what you made with the plant?
Perhaps a different method of using plant, but the plant is not the only ingredient used in this poison. There were other things used, as far as I can tell. Lots of things that are mainly preservatives, prevent the poison from going bad. Presumably, this was meant to keep coated on the weapon for a prolonged period of time exposed to the air without it losing its potency.
Oh.
But somehow it managed to. Hmm.
It's very sneaky. It works almost the same way as the normal version, but obviously the normal version's used primarily on food. It's served immediately, so the poison does not lose itself that quickly. But in this case, it was used to coat a weapon, which, normally speaking, would have no effect. Of course, we are not dealing with normal people, eh?
Apparently not, sir.
Yes, clearly. We don't know a whole lot about it at the moment. We know that it uses many of the same ingredients, but there is a couple of other ingredients that are different about this, additives.
Hmm.
Hmm. And you don't know anybody that might have the skills or audacity to try to attempt to make something like this? Or rumors? Nothing?
There are many skilled potionsmiths around the world who work on these kinds of things, but as far as I know, there is no specific person that comes to mind. Someone who was able to alter poisons like this, though, they have to be pretty smart.
Hmm.
Pretty smart like a professor?
Even smarter than us, considering that my knowledge of potions and poisons is fairly large, and even I can't figure this out. Someone had to have really studied this kind of thing for a long time.
Or they could have cheated with magic.
Not necessarily speaking, no. Magic maybe perhaps used to treat the ingredients beforehand, but gathering them, that is the dangerous part. For example, here I will show you. And he brings over one of the beakers that is currently filled with a kind of a light blue, pale, let's somewhere between a light blue and a pale white liquid that is currently sitting over a Bunsen burger. He says, "Watch very carefully," and he lifts the beaker off the Bunsen burner, and it immediately frosts over and begins to freeze in the beaker itself. He quickly places it back on the Bunsen burner to keep it at a liquid state. It says, "This kind of thing, this is derived from a plant that we know of in the deserts of Arival. Normally, it is used to beat the heat out there, so to speak. The desert can be very hot during the day. It's used in certain certain potions to, you know, prevent heat stroke and other such things. But this form is much more concentrated and was determined to be the preservative used and the poison, the midnight tears. You see how quickly the reaction started. It began to frost over immediately as soon as it was away from the flame.
So possibly two kind of people we're looking for.
Now, this is gonna be an in-character question. What's the difference between an ingested poison and one you have to be stabbed with? Doesn't it just have to get into your system?
Not necessarily. The poisons where you have to stab someone to get it inside of their body, those typically speaking only work in the bloodstream, but cannot stand up to the rigors of digestion. At least in most creatures' digestive systems, the stomach acid will eat it away in normal circumstances. But because the midnight tears here was based on the normally ingested poison in the first place, It is strong enough to withstand the stomach acids of most people already. It's getting it to work in the blood that was the trick. Normally speaking, the ingested poison would sit in the stomach in the digestive system for a long period of time, but would take effect, in this case, at midnight, presuming that the digestive system could not handle the poison in the first place.
Why go to the effort of altering the poison then? They could have just fed it to him.
Well, it is a quicker way to apply it rather than try to sneak into palace and poison food when obviously the royal taste testers exist out there.
But they were already in the palace. I don't get why it'd go through this extra effort when it seems like they could have just done it the usual way with midnight tears and been done with it.
I have no idea.
Back up against back up against back up.
No idea. Perhaps this is just the method they used. I mean, for assassins, they were pretty loud, as far as I understand. Perhaps this was more than just being able to kill the king. Perhaps this was about sending a message.
I suppose.
I don't know. I do not claim to know their innermost thoughts. That would be Professor Dryalis, at least for the time being.
What?
Did you know where the stuff used to make the poison be grown at? I'll give us where to look.
The main plants are grown near graveyards. They kind of just spontaneously happen. Very rare to find, actually, because they only bloom at midnight. They have a kind of sensitivity to the sun. So they typically bloom near graveyards in the shade, sometimes around trees if they're planted within the grounds. In terms of the other ingredients used for the poison, I know that the plant used to craft the preservative is a cactus from Marival. Form of cactus, rather. Very odd, different plant. Other such things include manticore poison, sometimes mixed in there to give it extra potency. Although finding and killing a manticore is a crazy endeavor. It's hard to find this ingredient for this poison, for sure. I'm afraid I don't know much else about the additive ingredients to the Midnight Tears poison. At least not this version. At least not yet. I've not had very much time to look at it.
How about we start something basic? Where would somebody get regular kind of poison of this?
What, like rat poison?
No, regular version of the Midnight Tear.
Oh, of the Midnight Tears? This is only ever brewed by a very skilled, very careful poisons maker. Normally, Midnight Tears, this is not an everyday poison. This is crafted specifically to kill people. Considering it happens at the stroke of midnight, this is very theatrical. It's not really used in like colloquial senses.
And I suppose you don't know anybody that would be able to give us, information. I mean, know where one brewed it recently?
It's hard to say. I mean, there is not exactly a trail leading back to one particular brewer, and it is clear that they source their ingredients from many different places. So perhaps this was a long time in the making. They could have gone and sourced them themselves. They could have bought the ingredients and transported them to wherever they were. It's entirely unknown, really.
Also, wouldn't the poison just be like really illegal?
Oh, very much so, yes. There's no reason to brew this poison at all unless you wish to kill someone.
So you wouldn't be able to. So it's not like this would be like something I mentioned, like out of damn alchemist guild. It would just be just not how that would go.
Oh yeah, somebody definitely did this in secret. There's no way that they would be able to get away with selling it on their shelves or anything.
Does it require specialty equipment to make? To modify such a poison?
Sometimes. It's more like it's harder to gather the ingredients, but once you have them, any normal poisoner's kit will do. Such as those used by exterminators and such.
Hmm.
Typical things found in the alchemist lab, though you do need sometimes to preserve the ingredients for a prolonged period of time that may require specialist magical equipment.
Like what?
There is enchanted chests that make things colder. The coldness preserves ingredients for longer periods of time.
Mm. Got it.
In fact, I suspect that's how they kept the cactus from dying out in its entirety and becoming useless. Considering that cactus only grows in Areval and nowhere else that we know of, this would have to be transported and or used there and then transported.
It's very volatile. Okay, so from what I gather so far is that what you're telling me, the potion is very volatile. At least the mutated one, and some of the ingredients comes from Arbald. So most likely it was still brewed inside within the city, and therefore, if they needed the cactus, especially from there, they would have still left the gatekeepers. Gate would have the entrance record of everybody that came from where, at least travelers, whatnot. Maybe we should search out from there.
What would be the shelf life of the cactus once you got the stuff from it?
Uh, like any normal plant, it would take a few days to start to wilt. Obviously, it takes a long time to get from here to another continent, so it's not like the cactus could survive, at least not without preservative magics, for a prolonged period of time of like 2 months.
And in your expertise, what would you think would be the shelf life of the poison once made?
Of the poison, well, once the poison is brewed, it is hard to say. It's most likely not brewed in big, larger amounts. Most likely brewed in a very small thing that can coat one weapon at a time. It's probably very expensive to make as well.
Because I just thought, because again, I do have some knowledge of how some of this stuff works, but you'd have to make it. You have to get the supplies. Make sure those supplies are still usable. Then you have to make the thing. Then you have to make sure you use the thing before it loses its ability to be used.
Yes, though most poisons, when they are made, do not last like one day. They are typically stoppered in a vial and can last anywhere from months to years, depending on how you treat them. There was so little coating the blade of the weapon and also found within the prince's blood that they would allow me to take in the first place.
Mhm.
I'm just trying to think of how. Because if we could figure out at least something of the how long this materials or the poison would last, we could at least try and see if we can trace it back.
Yes.
Mm.
So let's see, we got.
It could have been done months ago, to be honest. It is.
Hmm.
And that makes this
So, yep.
pretty.
At least by my estimation.
That's at least something we got to go on.
Yeah.
I was hoping maybe we could use the time of brewing and volatility of the nature of that to narrow it down, but apparently that's not gonna happen.
Well, in the poison form, it is not as volatile as this beaker right here. This is just a distilled form of the cactus used. It ended up being more concentrated than I thought, so I had to leave it overheat to keep it as liquid, study it further. As far as separating the ingredients goes, it does not speak to the shelf life of the poison. but it can speak to what is in it.
So we have no method of figuring out where the nightshade came, or the midnight shade came from.
No,
'Cause that
not
could
unless
pop
you
up
were to
anywhere.
find the manifest somewhere. I mean, did any of the assassins leave behind the grocery list or something?
Not grocery list, unfortunately. That would make my job a lot easier.
Remember that we do have a lead in, I think,
Oh,
was it Edward?
I know.
Guile.
Yep.
Believe me, I know.
Hmm. They could. They could have still smuggled in, so no, that's not possible. Ay, ay, ay.
Again, all we gotta do is just figure that, go from there. So,
Well,
thank you for your time.
Well, I hope that
Apologies.
I could be of
Apologies.
some assistance to you. There's not a lot of information, though. What I do find, I will pass along to the palace when I find it, of course.
Apologies for seeming like we're rushing it. We weren't trying to. We're just trying to figure out what the hell going on.
It's understandable. Assassins just killed the king like yesterday, alright? So these things are going to take time to do. I understand that people want to find information immediately, but sometimes patience is virtue, yes?
But-
Hmm. Virtue could be overrated sometimes.
Yeah, potato, whatever. Anything else you wish to ask me before I get back to this?
No, sir. Unless my acquaintance over here have more questions.
Is there any countermeasures to midnight tears? Because if we keep chasing all these assassins, they might decide might be to take us out.
Normally, the normal poison can be neutralized fairly easily with clerical magic, though this poison, being as strong as it is, evaded the clerics that were used to heal the prince. So perhaps higher level magic would have needed to be used to neutralize it. Again, there is not much of the poison left. Really, there is only like a faint residue that I am working with here. If I had a full vial of the thing, I would know more. But unfortunately, none of them had extras.
If we can, we may be able to. We have some leads. We'll sort that out if we can. But
Sure.
somehow we'll ask. Does Midnight Tears have an antidote outside of magical assistance, or is it just that's just how it goes?
Well, it's hard to detect in the first place, but every poison has an anti-poison. Either magical means, or there is a counter potions you can make to neutralize poisons on creatures.
Can you make those?
Yes, that is a very simple endeavor. I can make that before. In fact, it's like potion making 101. You need to be able to make an anti-poison potion so that you can save yourself when your homework goes bad.
Would you need something heavier? Would you need something heavier if you're dealing with something like this than just a simple anti-poison?
Most likely, you'd need to brew a more powerful version of the potion to begin with, the one that neutralizes the poison.
Valerian, just as if remembering something, shudders at the background when he mentioned about making potions and not poisoning yourself on homeworks.
Yeah. A lot of the times when you're working in potions class and fumes begin to fill a room that doesn't have adequate ventilation, things can get a little bit dicey.
If we needed some, how quick would it take for us to get our hands on something that would counteract Midnight Tears?
Let me look up the rarity of a potion of poison resistance and stuff. It's probably around there. It's probably uncommon, if I remember correctly.
Because if we have a premier potion guy right here, and we're like, well, we're dealing with assassins that like to use rather potent poisons, it makes sense to ask, like, hey, you got anything that's good against poison? In case you may need that shit.
Sure. It's an uncommon magic item. So I mean, any potion shop worth their salt could brew one for you fairly quickly. Any alchemist could brew a normal one. In terms of brewing a more powerful one, that might take more time and more. I mean, not necessarily more ingredients, but perhaps better quality ingredients to get the most out of it.
Well, that's good, because, again, their tendency to use poisons, it feels like this might be wise to have something to deal with it.
Okay, what did you do, and why is the police after you?
I don't know, man. Some idiot died somewhere. Probably driving his stupid jalopy car around.
Oh God.
Yes. That one is probably the one that you would use, actually. Stronger potion, very rare to find. That one is probably the one. I was like, a potion of vitality would probably be the one to avoid the specific strain of midnight tears you guys encountered. A normal potion of poison resistance will give you resistance to poison for a period of time, allowing you to avoid most of the effects of a poison if it's applied to you, but in terms of neutralizing any poison, that would be a potion of vitality. Which is a very difficult potion to make, takes a long time to brew, over probably many weeks, if I had to guess, because it is a very rare potion.
And very expensive.
Very expensive, very expensive, yes. Unless
Could
you
you
were
make
to
one of
gather
those?
the ingredients yourself, but it can be dangerous.
Could you make one of those?
Probably, although the ingredients needed to do so I've not worked with before necessarily. I would need to be very careful, which means I would take my time with it to make sure that it comes out in the correct manner.
Well, I'm gonna get a call from Florida. I'm gonna do something funny. This
Oh,
is Big
no.
Bob's Autos. What can I do you for?
You're gonna be able to meet yourself, my friend.
What the fuck?
Hilarious.
I didn't mute myself on purpose. I wanted y'all to hear that.
Oh yeah, I know. If it was a longer call, I would assume that you'd mute yourself though, because we're doing something.
Yeah, it was like a number I don't recognize. It was like, so I was getting a call from like Palm Beach, Florida.
Hilarious. All right. Professor Burkast right there. Make sure I have a stat block open so I can do things if I need to. Alrighty, well, yes, I could craft this potion for you, but I am busy with this other thing, and other potion makers can handle this, so I recommend you visit a potion shop. People who do this for a living are much better than I would probably be.
That's fair enough. I just wanted to ask about, because again, if they're using this, I'd hate to see what they would do if they wanted us dead.
Yes, fair. Fair enough. Though these potions, you could probably find them at. Do I have potion shop in Onyx? Hold on, I have no idea. Hold on. I may or may not have written down potion shop in Onyx. 1 second. Ottavilia Province, Onyx. Places. Oh yeah, Ambriel Alchemical's in here. Yeah, there is an alchemist in town called Ambriel Alchemical, owned and operated by Eris Ambriel. I've sourced ingredients from this Eris Ambriel. Mr. Ambriel is an alchemist who specializes in brewing magic potions.
Yeah, I'll keep that in mind. Yeah, you have a nice day now.
You as well. Be safe out there. If you're going after assassins, you know you don't want to get stabbed or killed in the night.
No, I don't.
As you leave his office, from behind you, a cuckoo clock on the wall goes off. and he looks up and says, "Shit, already? God damn it!" And he reaches behind the counter and drinks a potion from under it, and then stows the vial away in an empty sink, an empty wash basin.
What did that potion look like?
It was kind of like an opaque gray sludge more than a potion itself.
You okay, sir?
Just taking my medicine. This is fine. I have the clock set up to remind me.
Do I recall of him taking any medication during college?
Yeah, it's a fairly common occurrence to have the clock go off in the middle of class sometimes, and then have him need to excuse himself to go and drink it.
How long he been a teacher here?
Several years for what it's worth, for what you know. He was here when you got here. He's been a professor for years before that.
Would it be intelligence or history check if I want to recall something?
History.
Okay, I'm going to try to recall if he had this condition. Since when did he start drinking this potion?
That's easy. That's easy enough. He's had it ever since you've known the professor.
Huh.
He's had to take his medicine fairly often. It's not an uncommon occurrence to see him, like in the middle of office hours. The clock goes off. He says, "Excuse me, one moment," and then he goes over to his chest and takes it real quick, and then comes back.
Yeah, I thought you were pulling a fucking Harry Potter on us.
I mean, he still might. He could have been even taking that. He's been having that a lot longer.
Oh God, that's a long-term scheme.
Possibly.
That's expected to think of like, what? God, I just need to take a gray sludgy potion.
A medicine
every day
20?
sometime.
I mean, this would not be necessarily a medicine check. This would be an intelligence check if you had proficiency in an alchemist kit.
Which I don't.
Yeah, if none of you have proficiency in alchemy kit, then this is not a check you can make.
Yeah, fair enough. All right. Oh, you have a good day now.
In terms of what Guille just said, study the name of the assassins gave us for the organization, like in history books, know some organizations, take an famous. Sure. Roll me an investigation check, because you're using the library, again with advantage, to see if you can find any mention of it. 17's not bad. That being said, not a lot of people publish, their dealings with assassins. And most clandestine organizations that deal in murder do not go around advertising it. That being said, there is mention of an assassin that was active during the Civil War, or not the Revolutionary War, rather, between Netria and Onyx. Approximately 100 years ago, something like that, or I haven't quite figured out the timeline on that, but it's somewhere near 100 years ago. There was an assassin who is described as having killed a couple of key figures of the Onyx military that had called themselves the Red Tide, but only in notes left behind as like a calling card. The method of killing their victims was always the same, so it was kind of like a serial killer kind of vibe. They would slash the throat of their target and the wrists of their target and leave them to bleed out in a pool of their own blood, hence the name the Red Tide.
So this was a single assassin using that as a moniker versus an organization.
Yeah, exactly.
does it seem like? Of course, I don't know. I wouldn't get this from the books, but would it seem like a new organization has adopted that moniker, or it's evolved from that one person?
It's hard to tell. Hard to tell with a 17, and also
Yeah,
the fact that you don't have any information on the current one other than they exist.
yeah. Tis a bitch.
All right.
But yeah, I write everything I can. If I can I note down like because you said one of the books was just what didn't just contain the midnight tier. It has some other stuff in it. Can I write down those poisons as well, just for you know?
Yeah, just for clarity's sake, sure.
You never know when you're gonna need other poisons. But yeah, and then I'll like head out, thank the one at the front desk and leave.
That's not ominous at all. Not know when to use it.
Never know. Alrighty. So, reconvening the party as you guys finish your chats with the various professors and your research in the library. You are able to consolidate all your information together, and it is up to you what you do with it and what you do next.
I'm gonna go talk to the potion about that potion that fucking professor. What was the name of that potion seller?
Embriel.
Yeah, Embryo. See about getting my hands on some anti poisons or whatever.
Okay.
I was like, I feel like I'm gonna be keeping this thing prepared for the rest of this fucking adventure.
Can certainly do that.
Sure. Okay. Yeah, you can go do that. That's not a problem. Anyone else have anything they want to do before things happen?
I do not, at least.
Okay.
Nope.
Going once, going twice.
You guys mentioned the cactus to me.
No, yeah, we would have filled everyone in on what we found out.
Yep.
Do I know about that cactus?
Make me either a nature check or a history check.
I feel like if he's from Araval, he would know about it just because it seems like that cactus is rather important to how Araval does.
Depends on where he's from in Arval.
Yeah, no. I know that it's from Ashen Expanse, but he's not from there.
Mm-hmm. So history or nature.
Why would you not know about a plant that's native to your country, man?
It's not even a country yet. It's just a continent. No, 6 history check. You have never heard of a cactus you've never heard of a frozen cactus before.
I mean, that's like saying, you're Asian, so you should know how to make sushi, right?
In fact, you probably would never have ever seen a cactus before. In all likelihood.
Yeah, just shrugs. I don't know where that's from. But yeah, let's head to the potion shop.
Okay. In the market quarter, which just lies at the foot of the hill, just a short walk away from where you guys are at.
So I have no money, but I'm just more trying to see like if we can secure it later.
Sure. The alchemy shop known as Ambriel Alchemical is easy enough to find on the main thoroughfare there. Currently, he has a line out the door of random nobles that are waiting in line to get inside the shop in the first place. It's not a really a big shop in terms of real estate. So instead of waiting inside, they are kind of lined up.
Seems other people had the same idea I did.
Panic.
Yeah. For what it's worth, you do recognize a few of the faces that are standing in line, and doing so rather impatiently. Nobles are not used to waiting for things very much, and unfortunately for them, there is a high demand for this shop at the moment.
Is the noble I shoved to the side here?
Make a perception check.
I'm relocating real good.
They are not in sight at the moment. Do
Lovely.
not see them.
Did not get to apologize for violently shoving them aside.
And wait, so some of those are the nobles that ran off while their king was getting murdered.
Yeah, a lot of the people that were kind of in the crowd that you were mingling around, or perhaps had noticed, taken note of whatever weird features they would have had. You know, this noble dressed in a an odd colored garb with a curly mustache would definitely stand out to all of you guys. They are prone to odd fashion choices because they have the money to do so. Alrighty. Are you guys gonna wait in line? What are you doing?
I'm not patient either. I'm just gonna go. Go to. Is there like a general store or anything?
Yeah, there's a general store nearby.
Yeah, I'll go there.
Let's see. Let's see. I don't have a name for a general store. Weird. I guess perhaps the general store would not be very famous. Yeah, there's a general store nearby. What are the rest of you doing? Are you guys... are you gonna wait in line? Are you gonna talk to people? What is going on?
I am professional at waiting in line in queue, so I'm going to wait in line.
Okay.
What are we doing?
You have headed to an alchemist shop, which is currently overrun by customers.
Got it.
Anyone else? Going once? Going twice?
I'll wait in line.
Okay. While you guys are waiting in line, what are you doing at the general store there?
So I know we have a lead in Guile, and maybe even another lead further west because of some smithing stuff, like some branding on some of the weapons. So I assume we're gonna need to travel, and one of our party members, one of them is, I know at least two of them are Anikian, and I'm from Arval, so I'm just like, we should get a map just to know exactly where we're going. And also, if it's a adventurer store, maybe they would just have like a small bottle of anti-poison, maybe some health potions.
Okay. The shopkeeper doesn't really have potions or anything like that currently in stock at the outset. They normally carry, just like standard utensils, cloth, some tools that people would need on a day-to-day basis, either replacing old ones or buying new ones, whatever the case may be. There is a stock of tents that they have gathered, simply because people have showed up here and then found that the inns were full and have had to camp outside the city.
We'll definitely buy some tents.
How many tents would you like?
There are 4 of us. Trying to see if I already have a tent. I have a bedroll.
Yeah, but no tent.
How much is a regular tent?
Do you have a goal for the tent?
Antitoxin is an item in the adventure stuff list. Let's see.
Um,
Tent, a tent, a tent, a tent, a tent. A 2-person tent is 2 golds.
I guess I'll buy 3.
Sure.
I'll have one 2-person tent to myself. The others can share if they want. So that's and then yeah. So how much is the antitoxin?
It's just on the list of adventuring gear. They don't carry that here. I mean,
Damn.
obviously, it's an antitoxin. Probably go to the potion shop.
Just checking. What about map?
A map. I'm not sure if there's a listing for map. But maps, generally speaking, because of the time and expertise it takes to make one. If you were to go and find a cartographer or a shop that like deals in knowledge books, scrolls, that kind of thing, it'd probably cost you a decent amount. But you'd have to go and talk to them about it. You can do that while they're waiting in line. The maps, if you were to go to, let's see, which one would it be? The Sage's Scroll Book is a scribing service, but they also sell maps as part of their whole repertoire. They can reproduce one for you in about 10 minutes, and it will cost you about 50 gold.
I say yes, please.
So you now have a map of which kind of map are you buying? Just Onyx in general?
What kind of maps do they have? I don't want the city.
I have the city map. I have the map of the continent. I have maps of other continents, and I have a world map.
Map of continent of Onyx, please.
Okay, that's in. I gave you guys can all see the maps in the handouts, so there you go. Should be able to see the Onyx map on there.
Also, does this place?
Updated one?
You said this was like some Sage's Scroll. Do they offer spell scrolls here?
Yes, they're primarily a magic item shop that sells scrolls and scribing materials and services for wizards.
I don't know much about magic, so I ask if there's any magic for removing poison from one's body.
Yes, there is. There's scrolls over here, though we've kind of been run through as of late. They only have a couple left.
I can imagine with the murder of the king.
I forgot my accent a lot.
I forgot the accent. This is crazy.
Yes, with the murder of the king, there's been a lot of people gathering anti-poison stuff, especially once they heard how he died. Yeah, sure. I mean, each one of those spell scrolls are somewhere in the name of around here. They are probably not common. They're probably uncommon. It does not give me rarity, so I'm going to look that up in a second here. Spell scroll 5e. Let's see. It's a 2nd level spell, so it's an uncommon scroll. So since it's a consumable, it's 250 gold. And this is for a scroll of lesser restoration.
Did you say the price? I didn't hear.
250 gold.
200. I will take one. Do you know it's kind of
250.
guests are good?
250.
250. Yes. What kind of guests are good? Guess this.
Well, anyone could if you have the aptitude for it. Primarily, though, this was scribed by a cleric. They will have the easiest time doing it.
Perfect. Perfect.
Yeah.
And I just hand over 250. I thank them for their business, and I go and see that they've moved like one place in line.
Do I have to make a check when I'm using a scroll to spell I have prepared?
Yes. Using the scroll requires you make a check, but the way I like to run it, if you have a scroll of a spell and you can cast spells in the first place, you can make a check to use a scroll, regardless of which spell list it's on.
All right, because I've gotten mixed up a bit over time as I've played more systems. Because like in Pathfinder, if you have the spell, cast the fucking thing, the scroll.
So it says if the spell. You can use an action to read the scroll and cast the spell without having to provide any of the spell's components. If the spell is on your class's spell list, but of a higher level than you can normally cast, you must make an ability check using your spellcasting ability to determine whether you cast it successfully. The DC being 10 plus the spell's level. So to use a spell that is not on your spell list, you have to make that check.
But if it's on your spell list, you don't have to.
As long as you have the level of spell necessary to cast the spell and it's on your spell list, the scroll just goes off. Okay. So for you, as long as something is on the cleric spell list, any scroll you have that will that you can cast normally as part of your repertoire of spells will just go off. It'll be fine. It just takes an action to use the scroll. If you were to, say, try and cast, like, a 5th level spell that's on the cleric spell list from a scroll, you would have to make the check currently.
That also includes domain spells, by the way.
Yes. Your domain spells are just free stuff you get for being the type of cleric you are.
Yeah, but, sometimes you don't get those you get spells from other classes.
Yeah, sometimes. Depends on the cleric. Normally with a domain spell, the spells are added to your list and count as cleric spells to you, so. Okay, in the meantime, while you guys are waiting in line and Guille is off shopping, the line slowly begins to whittle itself down. It takes you about an hour and a half to get to the front of the line. And there you can see two individuals, one a human girl, probably 16 or 17, wearing an apron and goggles and heavy leather gloves, who is like furiously stirring a cauldron in the corner of the room. And the proprietor of the store is a purple-colored tiefling with wings folded up against his back, who is wearing fine clothing, has a pair of circular spectacles sitting on his nose, and is currently was currently dealing with other customers as you guys were walking through the door, putting in orders, back orders, dealing with irate customers who can't find what they want, stuff like that. So once you get to the front of the counter, he says, "Next, please. How can I help you?"
So I was wondering. Willing to bet you probably don't have any anymore. I was wondering if you'd be able to, if you had any anti-poisons.
Not afraid I'm fresh out of that. This crowd has seen to it. I can place a back order for you.
And what would be the price for a stronger variety?
Oh boy. How strong are we talking here?
I'm going to lower my voice a little bit, which is kind of funny given how big of an individual Darius is. Something that can fight off midnight tears.
Well, if you're looking for the normal shit, that's that's an uncommon thing. You can deal with that in time. If you're looking for something stronger than that, I mean, I don't know if you're planning on going up against a purple worm or something anytime soon, but I can brew something for you. It just takes a long time to brew. I don't necessarily keep that in stock, you know.
Custom orders, I get it.
That would require me to source some very rare ingredients indeed. Take me a lot of time to do. Certainly a lot of time to brew it once I have them. I mean, you're looking at a couple months probably.
I
Look,
I look at the other Dragonborns who's here still with us. Like, I thought we were here to investigate, not shop.
No, we were here to see about getting some antiques.
Ah, I
Yeah.
see. I was mistaken, and our goals deferred.
I mean, you can ask questions and do investigating if you want to.
Tell me, sir, good sir, before this all happened, did anybody order big batch of antitoxin?
Nope. In fact, it really wasn't a popular item until just recently.
Did you perhaps take a log of who was the recent who bought it?
Of course,
That
I keep
doesn't
a
have to be
ledger of all
large
my
order.
customers. Although the last person who purchased it from me was the local exterminator in town. I forget his name. Let me look him up. Let's see. He flips through a kind of a leather-bound ledger that he has on the counter already. Has been noting down customers in. He flips back a couple pages and says, "Looks like it was about a month ago. It was what's his name? Boris? Yeah, Boris Weatherton.
And where would his shop be located?
He doesn't have a shop, but he has an office just down the street, a couple blocks. Go down that way, take a left. He's the one with the green painted building."
Excellent. I take note of that. Sorry, my companion, if he likes to continue to purchase, he may continue.
If you want to put in a back order for antitoxin, I'll have a new batch ready in about. Jenna, how are we looking? The little girl, the 17, 16-year-old girl, turns her head to the side and shouts over her shoulder. We're about an hour out, Mr. Amariel. He's like, I'll have another batch in about an hour, but that's going to be eaten up by people, so call it 3.
3 hours or 3 days?
3 hours. We're going to be mass producing this stuff. Believe me, I got a lot of customers waiting.
Interesting. They do know this is not really going to help unless I keep on drinking it 24/7.
I mean, if it makes me money, they don't need to know. I mean, I'll let them know up front if they ask, but if it's antitoxin they want, it's antitoxin they're going to get.
While your business practice is unskillable, I cannot blame you for it.
Hey, I got people to move through. There's a line out the door in case you haven't noticed.
Like I said, while I find it unskillable, I can't blame you for it.
All right. Anything else? You going to actually buy something, or just come here to ask me questions?
Since we are here, I would like to inquire about purchasing just normal potions of healing.
Jenna, do we have any of those left? She says, on the bottom shelf. And he says, thank you, and he moves into a back room and brings out kind of like a 6-pack crate filled with potions, 3 of which are missing. He says, I got these 3 left. A lot of people have been cleaning me out lately. Normally I keep a larger stock of these, but of course people want to avoid dying nowadays, so...
I don't see why people are so afraid of dying. I don't know why people are so afraid of dying.
Well, anyway, they're 50 gold apiece.
I will be able to purchase 1 from you, sir.
Very well. Takes a potion out, puts it on the counter, takes your money from you.
Uh,
Standard healing potion.
Yep. I am fresh out then.
uh, I was more wanting to see about maybe what it would take, how much you'd run us for ordering the more potent stuff.
I mean, it depends on what you're looking for, friend. Do you have something in mind?
Something that can handle more virulent toxins than might be a little bit too much for a normal antitoxin handle.
I mean, if you're
It
looking for
might
the
just be
strongest I've
good to
got,
put in an order for the antitoxins anyway. Just saying.
what did you say? I missed the beginning part of that sentence.
I'm saying that it would be good to just put in an order for regular antitoxins anyway.
Oh, okay.
We did, I thought.
No, that hasn't been done yet. You guys asked
I was
about
about-
potions.
Oh,
Stronger
I- I-
stuff.
I would-
Stronger stuff. You're looking at I mean, again, it's gonna take me a long time to prepare it. Let me
Yeah,
open.
for me, I was planning on
my-
buying antitoxins. I just wanted to check the prices for what was it? You called it a potion of vitality, BG? What you called it?
Yeah. I'm gonna look it up. I'm gonna base it off of Xanathar's. Where is documents? (5e) add-ons Xanathar's. Where's downtime revisited? It's like 23 or something. Nope. It's monk stuff. This is tools, sample traps. What the hell's a poison tempest?
it's a trap!
Clearly. Magic item purchases. Buying magic items.
Sorry, I couldn't resist when you said
Let's see. Magic item price, very rare. 1d4 plus 1 times 10,000.
Isn't the price also reduced by the fact that it's a one-off?
Yeah, halved for a consumable item. So it would be.
still a lot.
He says, for what I can do, friend, 25,000 gold. I mean, I have to source the materials. It's going to take, money to pay off adventurers to go and get those. I'm going to have them shipped and preserved. Like, it's a whole ordeal. It's going to take me a long time to do it. But 25k, that'll get you sorted.
Alright.
Wait, hold on. You said you hire adventurers to gather materials for this?
Yeah, you have to put in word with the adventurers of Araval. That's where most of the items that I'm thinking of would come from anyway. And it would be a fairly expensive contract because they'd have to travel into the Forest of Lost out there. It's going to be a whole ordeal. If they have to kill any monsters along the way, that's extra.
We are commissioned by the king.
Great. Get him to pay for it.
I meant, since we are commissioned and trusted by him, maybe perhaps you could, if you would desire, you could try to put us to work.
I mean, if you want to go and get the ingredients for me, be my guest. I can make you a list, and you can travel across the world for it. It's up to you. But if you wanted any quicker than that, and if you want to do your own thing, I'd have to go and ask the adventurers for a quest. I have to go requisition them.
That's fine. List of items and where they could be found will be still wonderful.
Cool. I'll work on that. What's your name?
Filarion?
Valerian. Fantastic. And you are?
Darius.
Great. Valerian and Darius. He makes a note. Darius, rather. He didn't say Darius. Makes a note in his ledger under your already scribbled in entry for the potion of healing. All right. Now, someone mentioned purchasing antitoxin
Yeah, I'd like to put in an order.
Cool. All right,
Say
fantastic.
you're out, so put it on for later, I suppose.
You're on my list.
Alright. Should I pay?
I'll
Should I
send
pay in advance? Or should I pay when?
you pay in advance, and then I will give you the antitoxin when it arrives.
All right. And what was the price of the antitoxin, G?
50.
All right, I'll give the guy the money.
He notes you down as having bought the antitoxin, and you are put on the waiting list. He says, "Where are you guys going to be in 3 hours? Do you know?"
In 3 hours, still be in town. Probably where we heading up to this?
I was thinking about asking questions to exterminator. While I doubt it's going to be bear any fruit, but it still wouldn't hurt.
Let's go with that. Just send whoever out by the exterminator will probably be around.
Okay, up to you. I would recommend staying in one spot because I'm sending a courier. And then he says, "Well, if that's it, next, please." And he calls the next person in line, and you guys are out of the store.
Out of character, I cannot help but be grudgingly impressed by this man's entrepreneurial spirit.
He has just recently opened another location, if you remember correctly.
The other party would know that. We don't.
Yeah, exactly. You as a player are like, yeah, this guy's business is fucking booming. He's got 2 shops. He's a franchise now. So you guys are all of you heading to the exterminator, or any of you branching off to do other things?
I don't think we have any other leads.
I mean, unless one
Yeah.
of you wants to go and get the horses ready, you could do that.
That was gonna be my next stop.
Yeah, if you don't want to go to the exterminator, you can go do the horses, or if you want to go to the exterminator then the horses, that's fine with me too. Either one works.
I think for real, Frost assumes that they're still in fucking line, like it's moved like a couple inches.
Oh, you
So
would have
he's
found
just-
them. It takes them an hour and a half to.
Yeah,
get
you
to
would
the
have joined
front,
back
so-
up.
It doesn't take you very long to do your shopping. It may be 30 minutes of browsing.
Oh, okay. Well, then can I just go and say I've gotten the horses and shit still while they were in line, and then met up back with them?
Yeah, sure. You have your horses hitched up at a nearby hitching post in front of a tavern.
Which tavern?
I'll give you 2 options. The one nearby probably. It would be the Jeweled Chalice, which I believe Tavanta has stayed at before. So it's kind of the fancy boudoir.
Yeah, where's the not fancy place?
That's elsewhere in the city. That's not near here. You'd have to go down a couple blocks for that.
All right, fine.
But you can park your
Jewel.
horses outside. They don't care. It's not going to cost you anything.
Absolutely.
Maybe the horse's life.
No, I doubt it.
Mhm.
Unless the courtesans are assassins.
I knew it.
I look to the 2 clear clerical people, and produce the scroll of lesser restoration. Who wants it?
I look at the other clerical person.
Hello.
They stare blankly into space, their eyes crossing in the center.
I give it. I give it to Valerian.
Wait, do I look like a cleric person? How I'm dressed?
You spoke
Yes.
with. You spoke with Dead, and you. I assume you have a fucking
Holy symbol.
yeah.
Some kind.
Fair
so-
enough.
So yeah,
Very well, I shall take it.
yeah. There you go. And then I hand. I guess I hand you a tent, and then I hand Duris a tent, even though I don't know his name. I'm just like, Here, have this.
Thank
Why?
you.
Why in God's name did you buy me a tent?
We are going to. We're going to travel.
Yes.
We do not. If you do not wish to be. Just looks at him. Just because we are going to be traveling. Do you want to just. If there is rain or a storm or anything.
Oh, my apologies for the misconception. I meant is why did you assume that I don't have a tent of my own?
I can
was
make a
merely-
tower.
I was merely trying to.
Completely blows over everyone's head.
Well, I appreciate the thought. It's like, I mean, the Wizarding Academy doesn't really, teach about, surviving in the outdoors and whatnot, but they still recommend you buy a tent when you start off.
How
so-
would I know these?
Well, you assumed that we didn't know, just like,
I was making sure. I was.
Yeah. Like I said, while I appreciate the gesture, next time maybe you should ask.
I thud the other tent to fucking Hunter's character, and I move the fuck on.
Oh, thanks. I don't have one of these, so.
Oh, you're here.
Interesting.
Here.
Can I just
Well,
move on?
obviously he's not educated well.
Can I hear that?
Wow.
I mean,
Truly.
if you're walking away, then
True.
I don't know. It depends on
Could
how
I
loud he said
afford-
it.
Did you say it out loud?
No, I was talking to the other when you said that the other cleric say, "See," is like I'm pointing at him, saying clearly he's not educated well.
Oh, okay. I thought you were called my character.
You want to say that one more again?
one more again?
Well, obviously you weren't prepared for sleeping outdoors, despite the fact you're trying to be an adventurer. Educated guess would require that
Do
one
you
would
see
require
my
a tent.
hide?
Yes.
Do you really think I really need a tent?
Yes.
Where's most I need is a rope to tie myself down when storms pick up.
If you would like. And what if there's a rain? You would like to be drenched while you're sleeping?
I mean, hey,
Mark
Kinda-
down.
kinda- kinda hard to get a-
Jack
kinda hard to
Pence,
get-
Mark down 2-person tent in your inventory. You ungrateful fucks.
hey, hey, Darius is grateful. I don't know what you're talking about.
I'm grateful for the thought. I'm just saying that it's just
It was a
presumptuous.
two-person tent, you said?
Yeah, they only sell 2-person tents.
What's the weight of that fucking thing?
It's a searchable item in the compendium. You just drag it onto your sheet.
It's 20 pounds.
Okay, moving on to the exterminators building. Following the directions given to you by Mr. Ambriel, you arrive at a building that is painted kind of a dark green color, with a sign out front that says "Exterminator" on it, with a dead rat on the side, so-
Charming. To Hunter's character, I give him the other scroll of the lesser restorations. Here, he also bought this for us, and while I am able to cast from it, I'd rather not. He's not here again, is he?
I don't know. He keeps not responding every time the scroll's brought up.
Yeah, I'll take the fucking scroll.
Good.
Also, I've been muting my mic because I just don't.
It's fine. As you hand over the scroll to him, the door to the exterminator's place opens, and a kind of rotund, balding human man, with a really awful goatee, and kind of lanky long hair, but bald on top, long at the sides. comes out and he is like dressed. He's definitely dressed to travel, from what you can tell. He's got coat, hat, for what it's worth, and a pack on his back as well. He
Why
says,
are we here again?
"Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't realize y'all were standing here. Excuse me."
Actually, I think we want to talk to you.
Yeah. What about?
It wasn't my idea, so I'm just gonna look at this. So,
Yes, pardon our intrusion, but we do want to ask you a few questions regarding your latest purchase at the potion store.
My latest purchase.
Yes.
Well, I mean, I had to wait for it. I don't know what you mean.
Could you tell us a little bit about your latest purchase?
I mean, just yesterday I bought a potion of poison for my work. Needed to restock.
Interesting. Shopkeeper didn't mention that.
no, he did.
No, you asked about antitoxin, which was the last time you bought that was a month ago.
Yeah.
Any other purchase from there, sir?
I mean, recently, no.
How about the antitoxin a few months back?
I mean, sure, I need to restock every other month.
Very well. Did anybody? When was the last time you had to use it?
About a month ago when I used it. Before I
You
bought
use
it.
all of it?
Yeah. Yeah, sometimes the traps I use kind of nick me, and then, you have to take the antidote or else you get poisoned by your own supply, so to speak.
I was under the impression you bought more than one, though.
No, I just restock what I need. Antitoxin's expensive.
Interesting. So
I mean,
you
50 gold is a lot for the average person.
Yeah. I do charge a premium for keeping all the nobles' houses rat-free.
I suppose. Speaking of, did anybody come inquiring you about your services recently? Or coming to ask you questions? Beside us, I mean, of course.
Besides you? No, I was just about actually to go out on a job that I have had planned for about a week or so.
Interesting. So you didn't have any new hires or anything like that?
Nope, just me. I can handle the city on my own.
Very well. Thank you for your time, sir, I suppose.
Have you had any strange new customers?
No, not beyond the normal folk. I mean, the mug and mash has rat problem I've been trying to deal with forever. They're repeat customers. A lot of the nobles are, they don't want rats in their basement at all. As soon as they see one little mouse, they call me immediately.
Anything new with the vermin?
New? Like what?
I don't know. Scrappier, acting differently.
Scrappier. Hell, if the vermin fought back, I would call the Adventurers Guild to deal with it.
Nothing odd or unusual lately. Within the last 2 to 3 months.
Not that I can tell.
Okay. Can I see if he's telling the truth?
Sure.
Actually, what the fuck? Why would I?
Oh. Are you a deeply mistrusting person?
No, not really. Actually, where I came from, yes. I'm cautious, not mistrusting. So,
Oh, it's up to you. Inside check if you want to. 17. Yeah, he's being pretty upfront. He's like, I do business in the city as an exterminator. He's kind of confused as to why you're interrogating him in the middle of the
I'm
street.
confused on why we're interrogating him too, but I'm interrogating him nonetheless. I have no more questions. Goodbye.
It wasn't my idea. I'm just here saying hello.
Why are we here?
They wanted to see if there was. Valerian wanted to see if there was any connection with people who
I know,
bought
but
antitoxin and
they-
assassins.
David's asking, why are we here again?
You know, that's a good question. Why do we come here again?
Well, I know I figured it wouldn't be much of a lead. However, all leads should be investigated. I figure
Oh.
I figure we could ask if there was any lead by, since he's the exterminator for the city, somebody would have, came up to him, asked him for information such as layabout of the palace and whatnot, since he worked for nobles, or if he had antitoxin, maybe the saboteurs or the assassin might have need to get it, and they could have stolen from him or bought it from him, so it wouldn't leave a log.
Are you
So,
guys,
like I
are you
said-
guys with the guards, by the way?
Kind of. It shows him the king's seal.
Oh, you're part of the royal guards. I see. Well, I mean, I don't have time to answer questions at the moment. I mean, if you want to wait until tomorrow, I can make some time.
You've answered pretty much everything we could have asked. You just go on about your business.
All right, you know where to find me if you need me. He takes his backpack and buttons his coat up and begins to walk off into another direction.
Yes. Thank you for your
Okay,
time.
so I guess we just wait here for get notified about that antitoxin we ordered and go from there. I think we found just about everything we can in the city. We gotta chase down what leads we have.
Mm,
In
I
case
mean-
anyone above game, in case anyone forgets, our current leads are Guile and Solophon.
Hmm.
Guile for the potential source of the poison and shit, and Solophon being the fact that there was a smith over there that ordered a lot of fucking iron.
Hmm.
Like more iron than he had any reason to be wanting.
VG, is there a clue that's just blaring in our faces and we're just missing like idiots?
No.
Okay, cool. I just wanted to check in. I think you would tell us if we were being complete fucking idiots.
You guys are doing just fine.
I was trying to be studious and try to turn up all the leads as possible. Sorry.
Sure. It's very
Ain't no
valid.
problem.
So if you guys are just kind of like, pressing the wait for 2 hours button, eventually...
Wait, that was an option?
Sure. We can do time skip. That's why I was asking, like, you guys can do anything else? Because we can time skip to when you get your stuff and then leave. Eventually you guys kind of loitering around the exterminator's office are approached by a young boy who says, "A message for you guys. I was told to deliver this to
Point at the scary
big
dragonborn.
dragons." Yeah, here. Gives you the package.
Alright, thank you.
It's like a white cloth that is wrapped
it was
and
like a small
tied.
kid.
What?
Who delivered this? Like a small kid or something?
Yeah, like a 14-year-old kid with dirty face, out of breath from running around all day.
I'll hand him a gold. Fair. Services rendered.
His eyes go fucking massive. Blimey, thank you, sir. And he skips off into the distance and runs away. I get to eat
Always-
tonight. Yeah, and you have your vial of antitoxin.
Da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Da-da-da-da-da.
Yeah.
Add
So
that to my inventory.
It's a vial about as long as your middle finger, covered in a white cloth and wrapped in with a string. Alrighty. So I'm assuming horses and leaving, yes?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
guess.
Yeah, I direct
Yeah.
everybody like, come on, I've gotten the horses already.
Let's go.
Another courteous thing I decided to do. Don't acknowledge it or anything.
Alrighty. So, looking at the map here, keep in mind that the map that you guys have and your knowledge in general excludes Providence, so that is not an option to travel through. Counting for time.
Cue fast travel music.
Dun, 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 dun.
Go up here. Oops. -2, so not 17 days travel. Hold on. It is 17 days travel. Cut in half because of horses. And then
Why are we cutting horses?
you're not cutting horses. And then cut in half again. So 9, 5. Basically 5. We'll call it 5 days with the leftovers. So it'll take you about 5 days of constant travel to get to Guile from Onik, where you are. Half because you're using the road, half because you're using horses. Normally it would be 17 days on foot, but you don't have to worry about that because you have transportation. Okay. So, along the way, you guys are going to pass through Larishev and Kobuj. Is there anything anyone wants to do in either of those towns?
Above game, I want to know what Larishev looks like after 8 months, but
Yeah.
Same.
Yeah.
especially since when Chance left, he had put in motion some rather big changes.
Yeah, remind me what those were again, because I didn't write them down.
Trade route to the Underdark, like a tunnel.
I forgot that you did that.
Oh no,
Sure.
it wasn't.
Dig it.
It wasn't my idea, but I backed the guy who had it.
Dig a tunnel, dig a tunnel.
Dig a tunnel.
Dig a
Dig a
tunnel,
tunnel.
dig a
Dig a tunnel.
You guys share our brain cell.
In terms of Larishev and its growth, as far as you can tell, the town is doing all right. The town of Larishev, I mean, as you guys, depending on where you're from, you would either know this or not. The town of Larishev has been growing steadily over the past year, really, a little year and some change. And has gotten a couple new shops in it since it has been under new management. The town itself is looking more and more like an actual town and less like a hamlet. Instead of dirt roads, they have recently put down cobblestone throughout the main thoroughfare, at the very least. So driving through it, you get the sense of, civilization rather than just a rest stop. You do see the secondary, franchise location of Ambriel Alchemical there, as discussed before. And then obviously staying the night in the tavern or the brothel, whichever one appeals to you more. Generally speaking, there's a lot of travelers going through Larishev at the moment, just because there were a lot of travelers in general for the coronation festival. So people have begun to make their way, back to their own hometowns, and Lareshev is a major stopping point for them along the road. So a lot of places are like, open for business, offering discounts on stuff, discounted stays. You can see that some people have to set up tents outside because the inn was full on another night. Stuff like that.
Well, when Chance comes back, he's gonna have a lot of tax money.
Perhaps.
If he comes back. Meh.
Dun dun.
Yeah, we're gonna have to
Unless
sit that.
Fiji.
It's gonna be like a year of tax money.
Yeah.
Okay. Anything anyone wants to do in Kobuj?
Fuck that town with this rusty spork.
I mean, I might say hi to Dad, but that's about it.
Sure.
The fuck Kobu's do to you?
Really? You don't remember?
It's got a bunch of alligators in it.
Got good jump
Yeah.
Is it
that
awkward
one-
because I kind of look like an albino alligator as a white?
Oh yeah, there's a black dragonborn sitting on a porch somewhere that's giving you the eye.
I give him the eye back.
He's slowly whittling down. He's like whittling down a piece of wood, and he's just like, "Don't like your kind around here, boy." The only other thing other than visiting your parents for the night, obviously, the old man Jenkins, lizard folk guy who sits on his porch and just drinks and laughs at people across the way, kind of harasses you for a second, but you're like, you're fucking drunk, get out of here. What the fuck is that?
The Dragonborns, when they see each other.
It's immediate, just hostility.
Yeah.
Yes.
I
Wow.
That's lovely.
Is there a smith in town?
Maybe. Let me find out. Cernan province. Kobush. Inn, alchemy shop, chanter shop, general store. No, there's no smith in town.
Well, because I seemed like we would stop here for the night, then leave in the morning, or stop here like midday and rest up, whatever.
Sure.
Because if we're here for a length of time, I figured Darius would probably do like a few odd fixes, jobs as a smith while we're here, just to have something to do.
I mean, there's no smithy in town, so you don't have any supplies to, run a shop or anything. And even if you did, you only had, you're arriving in Kobush presumably later in the day after a full day's travel. There's not really any work for you.
Yeah, I was more just thinking like, I can just go ahead and fix some stuff. It's more just Darius likes to fix and make things. Even if he didn't get paid, he would still probably do it.
Sure. I mean, Kobuj itself it's not a prolific town. It's a stop in the middle of a swamp for people to get a drink and rest, on ground that's not sopping wet before they continue on to bigger and better cities.
Yeah, fair. I'm just thinking like Darius be walking down the road, see something that's not the way it should be, and just fix it. Not really saying anything.
Other than the fact that David probably doesn't stay with you during the night. Nothing else really happens in Kobush. Guys continue on in the morning.
Why doesn't he stay with us? Is he too good for us?
Being spending time with parents, man.
Master, we're not 4 years old. Continuing onward for your last few days of travel. Eventually, you do arrive in Guile. Go here. Go here. Okay, so arriving in Guile, walking through the town, you see somber, sallow faces going through the motions of their daily lives with as much vim and vigor as a tranquilized bull. Everybody from the shop owners to the peasantry and even the local guards seem sluggish and tired, as though drained of energy. This is a port town on the edge of the continent. Not the biggest in the world, but it does boast an air dock along the coast that one or two ships are currently docked in at the moment. It's not the biggest town in the world. It's just kind of a small coastal town. Let me see. Yeah. There you go. Just people here are just generally tired looking.
Okay.
What would you like to do?
I look at the other two Dragonborns. Well,
What? Guess we should figure out where we're gonna stay and then get about starting our investigation.
sounds good to me. What is the nearest
I
inn
don't know
then?
why I'm so fucking spacing out a lot today.
Because you're a space case. Oh.
The nearest inn is along the main thoroughfare. The inn, however, is closed. It's a sign on the front that says closed.
That is interesting. But how does the inn look?
It looks like a standard inn. It doesn't have a fancy name or anything. It just says inn on the front of it. It's a two-story building. Peering inside the windows, the lights are on the inside. Like there's candles lit, placed on the various tables and desks down there. But you don't see anybody inside. The door is locked and obviously closed for business.
Shall we look for another place to retire to? Like a campground maybe? Or should we try knocking?
Repeat that, sorry.
Shall we just set up a camp at the edge of the town, or shall we try knocking to see what's up?
I just figured we could just stay at an inn or something.
The inn's closed, and we're in front of it, and so that's why I'm saying: do we knock to see what's up, or do we set up camp at the edge of the town?
I guess we can set up camp at the edge of town.
What time is it? About?
You would get here probably fairly early on your final day of travel. So I'd say I would say somewhere near noon. Maybe like just before noon.
Honestly, right now would be a perfect time to start the investigation. So,
Well, let's get cracking.
So knock?
Nope.
Yes, knock, yes or no?
Well, we're gonna camp outside, then we're gonna go and start investigating the town.
Okay.
By
Okay, I understand we are going to investigate the town, but since there's a candlelight lit, that means there's somebody still inside. So,
If you
you know,
want to knock, go ahead.
I knock.
Okay. Knock on the door and wait for about a minute, but there's no answer.
That is very peculiar.
Yeah, I would kind of like ask someone who's like walking, like, why does everyone seem so tired?
Was there anybody on the street? I thought I was under the impression there wasn't.
No, there's a bunch of townspeople. There's townspeople walking around. It's just that the ones that you see are not the liveliest of folk. Everyone seems tired here. They're just kind of going through the motions of their day. Can't wait to get to sleep.
Yeah, I'd probably ask one like, why does everyone seem so tired?
Who the hell are you?
Oh, my name's Darius. I'm from out of town. Just came in today.
Well, no shit. I think I would have spotted a big ass lizard like yourself wandering through here.
Yeah, I ain't exactly subtle, but I'll ask again. Why does it seem like everybody's so tired?
Make a persuasion check.
Okay.
Look, man, I don't know.
Good.
He kind of gives you like a shrug and is like, oh, and walks off.
Excuse me, sir. Before you walk off, may I inquire one more question?
Make another persuasion check.
Oh my God.
See whether he actually cares about paying attention to you.
Survey says. Nope.
No.
He
No.
completely ignores you and walks away.
Huh. I look for the next person then?
Okay. You walk over to like an old woman that's sitting at a butter churn, just kind of like absent-mindedly churning the butter, probably not doing a very good job.
Excuse me, ma'am. May I ask you a question?
I suppose so. What would you like, young man?
Why is everybody seem... Well, before that, how long has that inn been closed?
It's a sad story. He just closed it yesterday.
Oh?
Yes. Unfortunately, the innkeeper suffered a recent loss, and he's mourning over it. Poor fella.
My condolences to him. What happened?
Make another persuasion check.
Oh my God, why did you do this to me? Hey, that's better.
I mean, not for me to share other people's business, son. You're likely to ask him yourself when he opens again, or if he pokes his head out.
Is there a reason why everyone seems so exhausted, ma'am?
He kind of gives you an eyebrow. Make another persuasion check.
Oh my God! I'm good at this!
Dice
Fuck you, roll 20. Hold on, I'm gonna make a test. I'm gonna make a fucking test.
Dice wants to kill us.
Oh, there you go. That's 22. I've been churning butter for quite a while. My arms are kind of tired.
Well, why don't I
Now-
talk while you talk to my friend here?
Why don't... Wait, how... I look at your bicep, look at mine. In other words, I'm comparing your strength score to mine.
18.
Okay, fine. Wait, what did you want me to ask?
Why everyone here seems like they're dead on their feet.
Oh, yes. Why is it everybody seems so tired?
Didn't you just ask me that?
Did I?
He did. I may be old, but I'm not senile.
It just seems weird how everyone seems so like everyone feels looks like they're dead on the feet.
Or cranky?
She kind of just, nods her head in that old woman like well motion and says, "Far be it from me to divulge other people's business when to strangers on the street who just approach me out of nowhere. You'll excuse me if I don't exactly entertain the prospect."
Is this still the part of the kingdom?
Yeah, this is in certain provinces.
It is. We are sort of on an errands from the. I show her the crest. We are on the errand from him, the throne, ma'am.
Why didn't
To
you say
the-
so?
Well, we're trying
Jesus,
to
you
keep
guys are just strangers approaching an old woman on the street, wandering through town.
We are trying to keep a low profile, as they say.
Well, I mean, wandering around like you are, you're really not doing a good job of it, I'll tell you that much.
Yes, but that at the same token, if we didn't reveal ourselves, then could it just mean it's just being nosy adventurer versus somebody, in, powered by the
Let's
throne.
not argue about like who did what smartly. Let's talk about what we need to talk about so we can all get about our day, please.
Yes, that'd be nice.
How's the butter churning going?
I am 65 years old. My arms are tired as hell.
Wait,
I think it was saying that to me because I was taking up the.
yes.
Oh, you were doing that? I didn't know you were doing
Yeah,
that. Your butter churning is going fine, better than she was doing.
Yeah, I was taking over so she could talk freely.
Um,
I was trying to be nice, nice to the old lady.
sure. Make,
You know what?
make one more
Fuck.
persuasion check at advantage, Darius, because you're doing the work for
I'm
her.
I'm gonna give you guidance for butter churning, if to help
need to.
that.
You don't need to.
But I want this to be premium butter.
There we go. That's 23 persuasion.
For butter churning. 23.
No.
Well, look, if you're on a mission from the crown, you should have mentioned that earlier. Just lead with that next time. But I mean, between you and me, a lot of people have been having bad sleep ever since old Janice. Well, you better ask the innkeeper about it. His daughter died recently. Very tragic event. Ever since then, the whole town's been kind of in a mourning period. People unable to sleep and such.
Can I make an arcana or a religion? Because this sounds kind of magical in nature.
Good.
In what way?
Well, because trying to convince that the whole town starts having problems sleeping. That sounds almost like
A curse.
curses, hauntings.
I mean, with the information that you have so far,
It
I would
sounds
say-
abnormal.
I mean, you can. It's just a higher DC because there's not a lot of information you've garnered.
Has it?
I would say if you're looking for some kind of extra dimensional problem to this, some kind of magic problem to this, it'd be an Arcana roll.
Ma'am, would you be able to make introduction,
To the innkeeper?
if you don't mind?
I mean, if he'll answer the door. I don't know that he's up to talking right now. It just happened last night.
We would very much like, if it's possible, to less people know the better. So that's why we're asking for your aid in this matter, ma'am.
Make a persuasion check.
Oh,
with,
God
with a,
damn
with
it.
a 20, a lot of people having sleeping problems all at once after an event takes place. That's just horrible
Woohoo!
event in
That's the
general.
highest I have ever rolled today.
Sure. With a 20, it does strike you as odd that all these people are.
That wasn't me.
I know.
He's answering my question.
answering the roll from earlier, the Arcana roll that already happened.
Okay.
All these people getting sleeping problems at once, according to this old lady at least, seems a bit odd. She's shrugging it off as the whole town is shaken up by what happened to the innkeeper's daughter. You sense there's maybe more than that going on, but you can't be certain. With a persuasion of 16, she says, all right, I could try. She waddles her old lady ass over to the door and knocks on it. Says, Phileas? Phileas, are you inside? I got some people from out of town want to talk to you. No response. Bangs on the door again. Phileas, come on now. You gotta eat at some point. You gotta make your living. There's no answer from inside. Sorry, boys. He just, he ain't answering me.
When was the last time anybody seen him? The funeral, I'm assuming?
A couple nights ago when he was open.
So there's nobody seen him since.
He's locked himself inside his inn and kicked everybody out. He's been in there for a couple days.
So technically, this could be considered as a wellness check.
How long does it take to churn butter?
You want the long answer or a short answer?
Short answer, please. Just give us a number.
Short answer, about 6 hours,
There you
depending on how long she's been churning.
I mean,
If
she's
she
been churning
just-
since the morning. So if it's about noon, then it's about done. Although she has been doing a poor job of it, so you probably have to go for a little bit longer.
Yeah, her rate more like 8, so... But you get the idea. I mean, if you're churning butter like a fucking mechanical precision, then that's 6.
Yeah, she's gonna take a long time to do it.
I look at the dragon and say, why don't you let the lady have the butter churning back? We may need you to break down the door.
What the hell?
Why are we breaking down the door?
2 days, nobody has seen him or heard from him since the funeral. There might be a chance that, major depression.
Oh.
I could do some semaphore up to his windows to see if we can find him before we, break public property.
If there's a lit candle, he's definitely been there at least in the last couple hours, because candles don't last several days.
Yeah, why don't you check the windows first?
Are you expecting to see something swinging?
50-50. Semaphore.
Yes, master.
We'll try and go checking the windows to see if you can see the guy alive at least.
What is that?
Of course.
Was what?
That.
The thing that's been following me for the past week?
You're like, just not asking about that?
Okay, he's been.
I thought I was a little bit too... You know what? No, I'm not going to ask anymore.
It is obviously
be
a
right
magical
back.
creature. There's no way you can
Yes.
hide your eidolon from anyone.
I wasn't trying.
This odd-looking creature, which it seems to, it's definitely otherworldly, but seems to be connected at the hip with your traveling companion, David. It's a bipedal creature wearing armor, carrying a sword with it, and it has a pair of feathered wings coming out of its back. That have been folded up against its back for quite a while now. This is the first time you've seen it use them, but it unfurls the wings and flaps, causing a bit of dust to rise up underneath it, and does a cursory fly around of the building. When it gets to the side of the building, very soon after he jumps to the air, there's an audible shout from inside and a shattering glass. And then a window opens and a stool comes flying out of one of the top windows.
As soon as I hear the shouting, it's like, well, I suppose that answers my question if he's alive.
You just hear shouting, "You'll not take me like you took my daughter, you bastards!" And it's just like chairs and stools being thrown out the window and crashing on the ground and breaking.
I am so glad I heeded your advice and not knocked on the door.
Yes.
Xenivore
I'm
is
just gonna.
easily dodging all of this and just say, "Please be calm, sir. I mean you no harm." Have Xenivore make a persuasion check for me.
Okay. Persuasion core up. Oh God. Oh. Not terrible.
He says, you're not taking me. You can't take me too. And then it just goes silent. Xenivore flies around the other side of the building and says, Master, I believe I found the occupant of the building.
Yes.
Would you like a lift?
I would, but I don't believe I would be the right person to talk with. Someone else like to talk to him, if that's the objective?
Very well, Master.
Perhaps you could ask him to come down and open the door to talk to us. That would be most appreciative.
I can try.
Are you trying, or are you going to have the Eidolon do it?
I'm gonna try and say, sir, would you mind opening the door?
Make a persuasion check.
Okay. Persuasion, good.
Apologies.
11.
He says, "Go away. I don't want to see nobody right now. We're closed."
Again, why are we talking to this guy again?
We need to talk to him about what happened to his daughter. I tried to help him out.
Okay. We would like to speak to you about what happened to your daughter, if that's okay.
Did you hear me? I said I don't want to talk. We're closed. You hear the window slam shut. Xenivore from his, from his position up in the air. I don't think he's up to talking right now, Master.
Yep.
He does seem rather upset.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Anyone else got any better ideas?
No, I don't. Unless we could, I mean, there is another option, but I'd rather prefer not to do that.
I'm gonna look at Lady. Does he happen to have a particular god he prays to?
Well, not that I'm aware of. He hasn't discussed his faith with me. Then again, he and I never really talked, so.
Because I am still I am a priest of Where to write it down at? Look.
Well, I mean, if you can offer him comfort. You're a forge cleric of Kavir.
Fear. I need to write that. I was wrote that down, but I didn't.
Probably a good idea to write it down if you're a cleric. Kavir.
How do I spell that?
Kevir.
Kevir.
Yep.
Yeah. You all clear out now. No lookers for.
Okay.
If you don't mind, I'm going to help the granny and pick up where you left off.
Shoot right on ahead. I'll knock on a door.
Okay. Bang on the door. No answer.
Sir, I'm a priest of Kavir. I heard about your tragedy. I was wondering if you want some comfort.
Make a persuasion check. Takes a couple minutes, but eventually from inside you hear footfalls on stairs, and then a couple locks, like 2 locks on the door, unlatch from the inside, and the door swings open. You see this man is he's a middle-aged, probably late 40s, human male, completely bald on top with a fairly decent beard. In clothes that look disheveled, like he's been wearing them for days. Clearly been crying recently. His eyes are just red and puffy and have bags under them. He's got a little bit of like dried snot in his mustache. And he just looks at you and he says, "Well, if you ain't gonna go away, might as well come inside."
Yeah. I'll step in and close the door behind me.
Gives a wary glance to everyone else, especially the angel. Showed up.
Yeah, I made it clear for them to. Like, nah, let me handle this.
He says, "Go ahead and take a seat." He sidles up in a chair alongside you at a table.
Why don't you tell me about her first?
Well, she was the light of my life. When my wife passed away 10 years ago, it was just me and her. Just me and Xana, all alone, running the inn by ourselves. We were a hell of a team. But I guess things weren't all as good as I thought they were. Happened a couple nights ago. One of the regulars I have saw her when he was doing his patrol. He's a guard, you see, and he has night patrol sometimes. Saw her on the docks and tried to get her attention, but before he could get to her, she just took a step forward.
You don't need to say anymore, sir.
I don't know what I'm going to do without her. I don't know how I can go on. Lost everybody I cared about. He begins to weep and sob openly.
I'll put like a comforting hand on like his shoulder. Loss is not something you ever get really used to.
I just don't understand it. She was a happy, bright girl up until about 3 days ago. And then she was tired. It was like she was a different person overnight, and then she was gone. It happened so quick. I didn't know what to do. I couldn't do anything really.
Did anything happen before she started acting different?
No, I mean she was complaining she wasn't able to sleep. Kept waking up in the middle of the night. Nightmares. She couldn't tell you what they were, though. Never remembered them, just that she couldn't sleep after having them.
Yeah, I want you to figure out something. There's something I've seen time and time. It is not your fault.
I know. I do, I know. I feel so helpless. Like, if it was, I knew my daughter pretty well. It makes no sense doing what she did. There's no way that I could react in time, really. It was so sudden, so abrupt, out of nowhere. Seems like just yesterday we were playing cards together after we closed up the inn. Laughing about drunken patrons making fools of themselves. To go from that to this.
I'm gonna give you same advice that I was given. Was going through something. Don't cry because it ended. Smile because it happened.
Well,
You and your daughter shared many good memories. Those aren't going to.
that we did. I think that at the moment, I don't know if I can find it in myself to smile anymore. I mean, I don't want to be a burden or anything, but is there any kind of way that you can talk to her? Let me know she's okay. I know you cleric folk sometimes have got a way to I don't know, reach the souls of the departed. Provide some closure.
Darius kind of tilt his head and think for a second. AKA Bones is checking his spells he has access to at this level.
Unless you've got contact other plane, the answer is probably no.
I speak with Deb. That requires a corpse.
Would sending work?
No. Sending requires a creature. It's all right if you don't. I just was wondering. It's gonna be a big question mark.
It's unfortunately not an impossible thing for clerics to cast, but I myself am not. And Kavir has not endowed me with that kind of might yet.
Well, I mean, Kavir, who you follow then. Suppose suppose you wouldn't know about it then. My apologies. I was just wondering.
What is your faith? Mind me asking.
I'm not really a religious man. My prayers are just kind of in general. To
Asking to anyone who'd answer.
Well, mostly to keep my daughter safe and happy. I suppose. If I can pull up the list of gods and remember which ones are which. Suppose Nilokra would be one who hears him. Not sure though. I don't go to temple.
I'll ask you something, and I need you to think real hard for. Remember, stand out as odd before your daughter's heart attack.
It all happened so fast. I mean, it's odd that it happened in the first place. Like I said, I don't understand it.
Something you may not have noticed being locked in. You are. It's like maybe whatever happened to your daughter might be starting to happen for the rest of the town. Well, I'm here. I'm best to help everyone. Like, think about what's.
I mean, I'm afraid I don't have any insight for you on that.
Any patrons came by the. Donald was talking.
No, I mean,
Doesn't it be anything directly odd? Just anything that seemed off, seemed out of place.
I mean, apart from the usual sailor folk pass through town and stay at the inn, there was a noble fella at one point. He's kind of a greasy looking dude. He wanted special treatment. I told him to fuck off. Told him to go find a brothel or something if he wanted his dick sucked. That was the last I saw of him.
And you're certain he left town, yes?
I'd assume so. I haven't seen him since. It's been, a couple weeks probably. Maybe more than that. Maybe about a month.
Alright. You and my prayers. Tommy, but remember, daughter wants you to be locked up for the rest of your lives. That's right. Describe her. She cares about you.
Make another persuasion check.
Ooh, that's not one.
Woo!
I think for now my doors will stay closed.
That's
It's all
really-
too fresh. Can I offer you something to drink since we ain't gonna be open really for a while?
I should pose.
It's quite all right. What's your poison?
I'll just take an ale. Some. Got still gotta figure out what's going on in this town. So busy day.
Pulls a mug off the counter and fills it with it's like dark brown ale. Hands it to you. Finest ale I got. Dwarven Stout. Just came in over a sailing ship imported from Netria.
I'll take a drink. Oh, it's good stuff.
He walks out from behind the bar and goes back upstairs.
Yeah, I'll finish the drink and see myself out. I look at the rest of my committee. I'll say, let's leave now. Let's go about the rest of town.
All right, what are y'all doing?
As I said, I took over him brother churning for the Grammy, and I rolled a nat 20
Yeah.
for the guidance.
Somehow you make butter in like 15 minutes.
So that's what I was doing while he was inside talking with the guy.
Sure.
After that, I just waited with the granny, just having chit chat.
She's leaning up against the building, smoking a cigarette.
In that case, I lit it for her
Sure.
using fancy firebolt.
Oh God.
Oh,
Bolt, not ball. Bolt.
It's really firebolt is used for like blowing up stuff. It's a lot to light a cigarette with.
It's the only fire-based spell I have. Let me have this.
You also have like a tinderbox.
The what now?
A tinderbox.
The what now?
All right, enough. What are you guys doing now?
I guess we're just waiting for him to come back out. So
He just did. What are you doing?
Let's go about trying to find what we're for.
Yep.
all right. So what information did you get out of him?
There was no passed through here a few days ago.
A few weeks ago.
Yeah, a few weeks ago.
About a month ago, he said.
About a month ago specifically. That's about the only weird patron he's had. But story of what he said about his daughter makes me something else going on here.
Well, I know we're on the.
Does that remember that dirty 20 I rolled earlier? Does what he said about his daughter kind of help me kind of shape what I got out of that by any means?
No, I would say make another Arcana check.
Can I also make one?
You know what? No, it would not be an Arcana check. It would be an Insight check.
Oh.
And this would be for Darius, because he heard the story. I mean, in your experience, people don't just snap into bouts of depression that strong to make them want to take their own life. It would be that kind of thing usually happens over a protracted period of time. Just in general, from your general knowledge. The fact that, like he said, it's so strange that she went from being happy and healthy one day to being a completely different person overnight and then gone. It's definitely odd. It doesn't make any sense to you.
Well, I don't think he was lying.
No, clearly not.
Something's really odd's happening this time. I'm sure.
I don't think this is related with what the task we're charged with. But
It probably isn't, but if you're about to tell me I shouldn't help them, then you can go step off that pier.
I was about to ask, does anybody mind if we put that on pause?
Nope.
So I'm assuming, look at everybody, I'm assuming it's unanimous?
Yep.
I look at the Dragonborn with the narrow eyes, like, don't assume too much.
Speaking of Dragonborn magic,
Welcome
I was
back.
talking about you, Dragonborn.
Sorry, very, very sorry.
Okay. So you guys made your way through Larishev, through Kobuj, and up to Guile. You're there now. Where you have noticed that the townsfolk are lethargic and overtired from lack of sleep, just everywhere in general. And the innkeeper's inn was closed. And you later learned, after Darius talked with him, that he was closed because his daughter walked off the edge of the pier 2 days ago. After seemingly being happy and healthy, she just walked off the pier, never to be seen again, and he is completely distraught and confused. Apart from that, that's about where we're at the moment.
So are we with the innkeeper right now?
No.
He's Darius has just finished talking to him, and you guys are outside, kind of figuring out what your next move is.
yeah, Darius made it a point to talk to the guy alone.
Good for you.
Well, it was more just like give him some comfort from a priest,
Sure. A priest of metalworking and yeah.
priest of Kavir.
Yeah, sure.
Like he's a
And
forge
these-
cleric, but he's still a priest of the
In
gods.
these harrowing times, I bring you a wrench.
Well, I mean, I'll say this much: you need people to make a civilization work, and if the whole part of the whole what do you call it, modus operandi of the clerics of Kavir is getting people to work together to build a greater society. So oftentimes Kavir's disciples will be artisans, crafters, that kind of thing, and they will be integral to the population, not only through a faith basis but also through a usefulness basis, service basis.
Right. I was just giving him a hard time because he's Hunter.
Of course.
Uh,
So, what
do we know why everyone else seems tired?
Not at the moment, no. You can ask around. There's more townsfolk wandering around.
Yeah.
All you've
Yeah,
really
I would
managed to
love
talk to
to.
is this old lady that's nearby. who's
the
turning about
And
her-
the innkeeper.
and the innkeeper.
Like, from what we've figured out, it seems like it's almost like some manner of
Like
They're
what?
having-
Pick it up.
it seems like some dream fuckery, because like they're sleeping, but they don't remember their dreams, and on top of that, like they're getting little rest.
So, can we talk to a couple other people and confirm that real quick, Vijay?
Sure.
That it's
Make
everyone.
a persuasion check.
Oh, I am not built for talking to people. This is why I dip around and collect supplies, guys.
This goes for everyone else. If you also want to walk around and just talk to other random townsfolk, I can expedite the process.
Ah,
Sure.
what the fuck?
I can make intimidation. Can I do that?
Yay, 11.
I mean, you can try, but it'll be a higher DC. Or persuasion, that works too. So
No, it's good.
for the most
Oh, yeah,
part,
it's fun.
the scary death cleric and the man with the angel following him around are not exactly people anyone wants to talk to at the moment.
Oh, but I can use my Haunted One feature, Heart of Darkness. People are like, yo.
That's also true. Well, what does it say specifically?
Oh, I can ping it for you if you would like.
Because if it
It's
says,
funny how
if it says
both
you're
of
just
the
gonna talk to
dragon,
people, then Yeah, both of the
Swing out
Dragonborns are very charismatic when it comes to interacting with the townsfolk.
Hiya.
Cool.
And they will extend you every courtesy and do their utmost to help you,
Then
unless you have shown yourself to be a
great.
danger to them.
I'm gonna waive the persuasion check then for you. So everyone you talk to has kind of a similar story, though you do get a couple of other tidbits of information. So you got one guy that says like, "Oh, I've been having an awful time sleeping lately. Woke up in the middle of the night in a cold sweat 3 times for no reason. Like I had a nightmare, only I can't remember what I was so scared of." And another person says, "Look, between you and me, Farron Plum scouted out to get me. He found out where I keep my rainy day fund, and he wants it all to himself." Wait a minute, you guys aren't working for him, are you? You know, he seems very, like, not tired, but also paranoid.
Mm-hmm.
You got one guy
like
who's a... You got one guy who's a dwarf who says, "To be honest, it's just hard getting old. I'm having a hard time reading the letters my father sent me just last evening. He used to be able to tell what he writes about, but now it's like I'm learning to read Dwarvish all over again."
And is this an old dwarf, or is he like?
He's middle-aged.
I'm
I
gonna.
have a.
I was gonna ask some of the people I was talking to, like, if anything odd happened, in their opinion, odd happened before the sleep problem started.
None of them would be able to give you much insight on that.
I have a question, BJ.
Uh-huh.
Say this is a thing, like something was introduced to the environment, like maybe into the water supply, or maybe in the spells being affected over the entire town. If someone specifically was, and they're still in the town, they would have measures to protect themselves against it. So, do we notice anybody who's like the total opposite of these people? Like, yeah, I feel great. Hell yeah, let's go. Let's get the day going.
What's your passive perception?
Not good. Just I could tell you straight up, like 13 or something.
Yeah, with that score, not really.
Mine's a 16, if that matters.
There's
14.
no one, even with a 16, there's no one that stands out as different than the others. Certain people have different, quirks to them in terms of like what their affliction is. Like obviously the paranoid guy, not everyone is super paranoid. Not everyone's forgetting how to fucking read. But those are a couple of cases where sometimes that has happened to people. And you're like, okay, there's a couple of weird edge cases here on top of the normal symptoms of whatever's going on.
So nothing too crazy. Now, from the dead dude's information, we knew about a market here that deals with the red tide, presumably if we're taking shit like semi-literal, right?
Sure.
What are the major shops in town? Can we find out?
There really aren't that many. There's
So
a
that's
general
what-
store and an inn. The major like trade in this town goes through the docks. There's an air dock here in Guile. Other than that, it's like general store, apothecary, inn.
Apothecary, you say?
Yeah.
Wait, actually, like for like out of character, what the fuck is an apothecary again? That's like
It's
medicine.
medicines.
Potions, poultices.
Mostly
Salves.
medicines and stuff. Medicine, salves, herbal, whatever.
herbal shit. That seems like a lead. Then we could check around the dock around probably where innkeeper's daughter took the plunge. Might be something to investigate.
I feel kind of bad because I mentioned, like, when we were wondering like what happened to the guy. I mentioned the guy could be swinging. I was like,
I mean, it's not an unreasonable jump to make. Excuse me.
What did you say to this dude who's grieving?
No,
No,
I didn't say it. Do it. I was kind of thinking like, what? What do you think he was doing?
They were,
'Cause we
they were
figure
trying
out
to
what-
see like what they were trying to find out if he's even in there at all, and they had the
Oh.
angel Eidolon fly around and look for him.
Oh, I thought you were like talking
No,
to his
no,
face.
no.
No!
That would have been
I
an
wouldn't-
instant shutout.
I wouldn't put it past you, Hunter.
Wow.
Love
Wow,
you, buddy.
okay.
Love you, buddy.
Oh God! All right, enough.
Dear God, what? How has he hurt you in the past, man?
I'm
You're having that
certainly
kind
feeling the love.
Jesus.
So
I'm
many ways.
certainly feeling the love. Fucking hell.
All right,
Oh my God, man.
moving onward. What are you doing? What is the group doing, please?
We're gonna look around the market.
Okay.
Yeah,
Like-
especially the apothecary. I'm interested.
Okay.
We didn't get a name for the apothecary, but we did get we narrowed it
Right.
down to Kyle.
Can we see
I think we-
Darius?
Yeah, I think it was like a Darius.
That was a name that was mentioned. Yes.
Yeah, that was. It's true. Squints at the other Dragonborn.
Judging by the shops, I mean, it's easy enough to find the apothecary
Well, I
because it's one of the
told
only
you.
other shop buildings in town, just in general. It doesn't really have a name. It just has a sign up front with like the universal symbol for healthcare. And walking inside, it's a very sterile environment. Everything seems to be neatly put into place. You can see that behind the counter there is a kind of an armoire or like shelving unit set up with a bunch of different like bottles and vials and plants and stuff growing on it. When you open the door, a little like brass bell above the door rings, and soon after a figure in a plague doctor outfit comes walking out, removes the mask. You can see it's a woman, half elven, with red hair, green eyes. She says, "Good evening. Can I help you? Do you need any help?"
Yeah, we were just looking around. We heard you're this is the apothecary in town. Figured we'd just check your wares. See what you have on offer.
Sure, no problem.
Does she
Um,
look tired?
Yes, yeah, she looks overtired. You can tell that she's tired, even though she's kind of putting up a front of like the friendly shopkeeper kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Ma'am, if you don't mind me asking, when's the last time you've got a good night's sleep?
A couple days, I suppose. Don't worry about it. It's just nightmares happen, that kind of thing.
Yeah,
Are you
it
looking
seems
for
like-
anything like herbal remedies, or perhaps an ointment for a rash or something?
What kind of stock do you keep? Any herbs or flowers particularly rare?
Mostly medicine. Medicinal purposes. I have a garden out back that I use to cultivate some common ingredients.
Any kind of? Do you deal in antitoxins at all?
Oh, certainly.
Mm. I had a train of thought, then I lost it because, yeah, fuck. I'm distracted today. I'm sorry.
I have an anti-hangover cure if that's what you're looking for.
No, I don't drink. Have you had anyone come by inquiring about toxins? Specific ones? Recently?
Not to my memory, no.
Interesting.
Do you have any? Have you noticed anything odd happening in town recently, aside from the innkeeper's daughter?
Well, that's a dark bit of business. I did see a couple of blokes get in a fight with each other over a girl down at the docks a couple days ago. Thought it was odd, seeing as they're both already married, but I bet their wives had something to say about that when they slunk home that night.
Oh, I wonder how many of them had to sleep with the hounds.
If they could even sleep at all. I've been trying to figure out if I can brew sleeping drafts for people, and if I need to hand them out to sell them, I don't know.
It seems a bit odd that the entire town seems to be having problems sleeping.
Well, I've had a lot of people come and talk to me over the last few days, just looking for a pick-me-up, but didn't think it quite odd. People work, get tired. It's nothing I haven't seen before.
Do you have any sleeping drafts prepared?
At the moment, I'm working on a batch for a customer of mine, but
Do you mind if I get it marked down for some of it when it comes out?
sure, if you'd like to put a down payment on it, I'd be happy to give you something.
How much would that be?
For an herbal remedy like this, be 1 gold. 1 gold now for the down payment for materials, and another gold upon completion.
I'll get some for me and my compatriots here.
Does anything seem off about her at all?
Make an insight check.
Could I also do that as well?
Yes.
Please and thank you.
I mean, there's nothing that strikes you as particularly odd. She just seems like a normal shopkeep, albeit a bit tired.
Mm-hmm.
We were asked to deliver a letter to somebody named Darius. It's funny because I share the same name, but
I don't know a Darius.
Not that funny.
At least not in this town. Are you sure it was here and not one of the neighbouring villages
Positive.
down the road?
quite positive. They specifically mentioned Guile.
Perhaps you missed him. I mean, the inn did close down. If he was staying there, he might have moved on.
Mm-hmm.
I'll be right back.
Oh,
Can I
damn,
make
I was gonna
Can I
talk
make
to you.
another? Can I make another insight when I mentioned Darius? See if that.
Sure. She generally doesn't look like she knows what you're talking about. Seems pretty forthright, being like, I don't know who that is.
Can I pull? Have we introduced each other to each other formally?
You've been like walking around with these people, but you haven't. I mean, you spent a week on the road. You can say that like you talked to each other at some point.
Because I feel like I actually my character doesn't know your name.
he might not still. I don't know.
I
No.
call you priest and death priest, and then I don't even and
Angel.
and the one with the angel. I don't know your name.
May I
I
ask,
know your name
your
is Darius.
can I ask your name, miss?
Sure. My name is Felonia.
Polonia. That's a nice name.
Thank you, Miss
Felonia
Felonia.
Cartwright.
Do you know how long will it be till I can expect those droughts and I can come pick them up?
The draft will be done brewing in by nightfall. I was planning on making a night delivery to my customer, but if you're staying nearby, you can come and pick it up either after I come back or before I leave.
I shall. Thank you for your time.
Right, Nick, I suppose. Maybe we should check the docks. Maybe they've heard something of I suppose.
Perhaps.
Yeah.
Perhaps. As soon as we get outside, I pull Darius aside. Do you have any way of detecting any kind of not even magic even, or if it was simply affecting their sleep, I would rumor this as some sort of maybe something has poisoned the water since we're dealing with poisons, but this is also seems to be a magical variety affecting nightmares. So, and maybe something to do with affecting people's moods or behaviors. So maybe if you can detect any kind of magic or the presences of anything that's not humanoid. I don't know what clerics can. I know what some clerics can do. I don't know what all clerics can do. So if you can help.
Don't. I might be able to come up with something, but no.
I could detect magic if you want.
Your name is
David.
Hi, David. Thank you. If you could do that, I feel like we haven't introduced each other. You guys can call me. You guys can, I guess, call me Frost.
Hello, Frost.
Yeah, detect magic. If you are you just casting that as an action? I'm assuming.
Yeah.
Okay. You kind of like, cast your detect magic, and to your eyes, there's a glow of magic behind the counter. A couple of different auras kind of pop up.
Not necessarily a big thing. It is. Could be a magical poultice. Definitely deals with antitoxins. So could be something. Could be nothing. Depends on how much of a deal you want to make of it. Besides, we may not want to tip our hand, if you know what I mean.
I mean, it's a magical thing at a potion shop, so.
Yeah, yeah. So let's go investigate the dusk and see if we find anything particular. Out of character. Clerics have a thing where they can detect undead or fiends and fae and shit, right?
That's paladins.
No, paladins have divine sense, but clerics also have a thing. Detect evil and good, I think that's what it's called.
Yeah. That's not a spell I have prepared for, unfortunately.
God damn it!
Yeah. Detect evil and good. First level divination spell.
I'm this group's fucking heal bot, okay?
Even look, I change it. Never mind. I'm not gonna say shit.
Is detect evil and good a ritual spell?
I don't know. I don't have a spell list right now.
No, I know. I'm asking the clerics.
Motherfucker.
You guys should have it on your lists.
Is as far as I can tell, it is not a ritual.
Cool. It's just concentration.
Yeah.
Well, if you have anything like that, maybe tomorrow be preparing such energy. But anyways, let's see what we can do just off. And also, yeah, look for anyone who's not. In my experience, if there's something afflicting a people and there's one person not afflicted by it, then that's who you need to kill. Or investigate. I guess kill's a little harsh. Anyways, he moves on to the dogs.
Alright. As you guys are walking by, just for the sake of detect magic, you're not pinging anything else magical as you walk through the streets. There's no auras that pop up. No one's wearing anything. There's no residue. This is just a mundane town that seems to be afflicted by some kind of weird anti-sleep shit.
Is a curse. Return the slab.
Return the slab. Suffer the Pharaoh's curse. So when you get to the docks,
And that show gave me nightmares as a kid.
it was not good for a night's sleep for sure. So investigating the area, it's either an investigation check or a perception check. Your choice.
Whoever's
Check
doing
out.
it, I'll give them, guidance.
Let's just all do it. That's
Okay.
If you're searching as a group, I'll take it as an average.
Investigation.
Oh!
See? That's good. That's good shit.
It's pretty good.
27 plus 2?
For
Oh, yeah, because
Guidance.
guidance. Natural 20. That's nice.
I'm assuming this is perception, right, Darius?
No, this is a investigation. No, that's true. Perception. Plus 6. That would have been higher.
Roll the one you want to roll.
I'll stick with the 17.
Okay.
I'll risk rolling shit. Bring on the average.
The perception is obviously insane. 15 plus 29 divided by 2.
I see
Average of
the everything. Sorry, I couldn't
It's an
resist.
average of 22. The investigation check is more of the same. So, investigating the area, you do see eventually as you're walking around the area, you see that there are something that catches your eye. Those of you with perception checks, there are several handprints in the mud that lead from an alley across the street around the back of a small warehouse nearby. Those of you that go to investigate, just in general, you do see that there is on one of the crates a marking that looks like a red teardrop. And the fact that something was dragged, something fairly heavy was dragged around the side of the crate.
I'll check around the side of the crate.
There is not really anything there except for the imprint of someone who was sitting there at some point. And there is a bloody handprint, several actually. There's like 3 bloody handprints that are marked on the crate itself.
Can I pry open the crate?
Mm-hmm. Inside the crate, this crate has nothing in it at the moment. It appears that there was something in here. There's still the straw packing that exists in this crate. But whatever was in here is long gone.
Can I give it a sniff to see if it's like anything significant?
Sure, make a perception check.
Can I waggle survival?
No.
Okay.
It's perception to determine if something is there via smell.
These aren't my proficiencies, guys. So give me a break.
Smells like wood and straw.
That's right. So you said that there were handprint, so in the mud. What did we see in the mud?
There's a groove where someone was dragged, or something was dragged, and there's an imprint of where someone was sitting at the end of that trail on the other side of the crate.
Can we move the crate?
Yeah. If you push the crate around, it's a crate. That's on the outside of a warehouse, kind of like around the back in the back alley.
So the trail leads to this crate.
That has a red teardrop.
It leads around the side of the crate. It has a red teardrop on it.
It leads around it. So does it lead anywhere else? Is there anything else I can see from the track?
Can I try and press on the wall near where the handprints are? So it's like.
Yeah, if you push on the wall, it's a solid wall. It's a stone building, about 30 feet tall at its highest.
Is there anything I can tell about the imprint in the mud? Like anything?
With your investigation check of 17, or not 17, of or perception check of 15. Well, you made a perception check. Make an investigation check now that you're looking closer.
I don't have a lot to this, even though I'm proficient, because my intelligence is low.
I mean, it looks like someone's butt print was there, but that's about it. That's all you can tell.
Since it's in a print in mud, can I just try to waggle survival?
To follow a trail?
Yeah.
Sure. Go ahead and roll survival.
Please, dice gods.
Sure, natural 20. Sure. The trail leads back, like I said, it leads from the dragging around the crate, from the print to the dragging around the crate to several handprints in the mud that kind of go across the road. And tracing it backwards, it goes to another alley that's like across the street from the warehouse that you are currently at. The handprints seem to appear in the alleyway. They did not travel through it. They start about halfway down the alleyway and then head towards the warehouse across the street.
So, handprints like in the mud or on the
mud.
crate?
In the mud on the ground.
So someone look like they're doing fucking handstands?
I mean, it looks like it, sort of.
Can I look around like where the handprints start for like any kind of traces or something?
For traces of
Maybe
what?
anything. Maybe like some like displacement, like they teleported in, or if there's like a door somewhere maybe hidden.
Sure, make an
Does it look-
investigation check.
Does it look like a primate?
It looks like a human hand. Smaller than yours, obviously, because you're a big dragonborn. 15. There, just looking around, there's not really a lot of. Obviously there's no secret doors. First of all, you can see that the handprints are the only ones that are in the alleyway here, and they change to that dragging mark in the mud across the street in the alleyway behind the warehouse.
Can I have Sanford?
Go ahead.
Can I have Sanford go up to the roof and see if they came from the roof?
Sure. Make an investigation check with Zenivor.
Can I see through his eyes and use mine?
Sure. Yours would be a perception check, though.
Oh, still better. Yeah, still better. Pain.
I mean, nothing stands out to you.
Shall we investigate the warehouse?
Might be the best. Like a good idea.
Before we see where this alley leads, because I don't feel like getting my back stabbed today.
Check in the warehouse.
How are you approaching the warehouse? So the warehouse it's a 3-story building. It is walled. It's walled off by a 15-foot high wall that kind of surrounds the property. There's a gate out front where the paved cobblestones lead up to the building itself.
Am I proficient in stealth? No, I'm not. Never mind. I wasn't gonna do anything criminal. And you? Is there anybody is this like a dock for a warehouse for the dock, like shipping shit?
It's a warehouse nearby the docks. Yes.
Is there anyone like near and around?
At this time of day, it's probably middle of the afternoon. Yeah, there's people working at the docks, surely, but around this warehouse in particular, no.
Is there an entranceway, gateway? Because you said there's a 15-foot fence or something.
Yeah, there's a 15-foot stone wall that surrounds the property, and then at the front of the building, there's a gate that's locked.
Can I do something illegal?
Maybe.
Can I go around to the back of this place and just check to see if there's anyone there? See if I can't see or hear anything.
Sure. So around the back of the place, just as a heads up, around the back of the wall is where the crate was, where you guys were walking through. So the wall is where the alley is, where that crate is marked and where the dragged body mark is.
Mm-hmm.
Apart from that, there's no one walking through the alleyway. There's no drunks in there. Nothing really around the area.
Can't hear anything on the other side of the wall.
No, not from where you're at.
Okay. I'm gonna. Whenever I use the feature to fly, is it like a showy thing, or is it just I grow a pair of wings and just dip?
I mean, you're growing wings out of nowhere and then using them to jerk yourself in a direction and then they go away, right? So
yeah,
it's pretty out there. It's not like a stealth thing.
Okay, but I'm behind everyone. There's no one. There's past an alley. There's no one around, right?
Yeah.
Can we just walk in? We have a.
If you guys want to go around the front of the building, you can. There's a gate.
Yeah, he said that the gate was locked.
The gate is locked. You can see through the gate into the property itself.
Oh, what's that look like? Before I do something insane.
There's a cobblestone pathway that leads up to the front doors, which is kind of like a big barn door situation on the front of the warehouse. there are windows on the first and second floors, and surrounding the property on the outside there is like a grassed lawn that's been overgrown.
Okay. Can I just hike myself up the wall?
You get a 15-foot jump.
I don't know. What's my jump calculator?
Let's find out.
Can I just walk around to the front?
You can do that. I'm gonna do criminal shit.
High jump is you can leap into the air a number of feet equal to 3 plus your strength modifier if you move at least 10 feet on foot immediately before the jump. So whatever your strength modifier is, plus 3.
Could I finagle some acrobatic bullshit to do it, like off a building or something?
The alleyway's too wide for you to jump between stuff and do a Jackie Chan thing. If you were a monk, I could swing it, but you are a monk.
I'm a monk.
If you were like a monk with but the monks have the running up walls ability, right?
Yeah, but I don't have that yet.
Exactly. If you had that where you could move up the wall, then yes, but as it stands right now, you don't have that ability yet.
Fine. I do that.
Cool. So step of the wind at the end of your run. You basically like take a runner's pose, sprint down the alleyway, and then leap into the air, and your wings unfurl and flap you up over the wall and down onto the ground.
Mm-hmm.
So you are now inside the grounds. I will put you on the map here.
Yeah, I'm just going in through the front door. Asking like, hey, can someone let me in here?
It's
The
locked.
front of the gate is locked.
So I decided to do something illegal.
Yes, your screens are supposed to be black. Only Glacier's on the map right now.
Can I just like grab a dock worker and say, hey, can you open this?
He just says, I don't have a key.
Who does?
Hmm.
Okay, it's important I get in there.
Okay, well, maybe find someone who knows more about it. Can I get back to work now? I gotta lift some crates.
Yeah.
Oh, I ain't seeing shit.
Can I see through a crack in the gate?
Yeah, you can all see through the gate.
I missy step in.
Alright,
Hell yeah, brother.
no problem. Your Eidolon
Can
can
I
fly you.
Start fucking stealthing through this place.
Throw Xenomorph on there as well. There you go. Sure, roll me a stealth check.
My stealth is like +4. Hell yeah.
Cool. You crouch, like in Skyrim.
I do.
You render yourself so slow that you become invisible to the naked eye.
Yum.
That's me trying to get a run up and jumping over the
Yeah, it just makes a race car noise as you flash through the alleyway.
So this is a big looking building. Ooh, things.
So like I said, there are windows on the first and second story, so you can kind of see through them into the building itself.
Can I like just peep ever so slightly and see into this?
Yep. Lots of crates, lots of stuff covered by tarps, some barrels. There's an anvil and hammer in the corner.
Why am I a marshal? I should have played the fucking magic class. Anyway.
Play what you want to play. Oh god, are you planning on doing this?
What?
Nothing.
What did you fucking? I didn't see.
Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, don't worry about it.
Do you have a dread helm?
Yes.
as he rounds the corner, you see this individual round the corner wearing a black horned helmet with red glowing eyes, just like walking toward you.
Just waves.
Waving very friendly at you, but he looks very menacing.
Just like, it, like looks and is just like waits for something to happen. Nothing happens. Assumes it's one of his party members.
Yeah, I mean, Xenovor is following right behind him, so you can assume.
Yeah. Doesn't look like anything's inside here. Where are the others?
They're still outside. They haven't entered the property.
Where's the front? Where's the gate?
I assume this is the door?
That's a window.
Oh,
Can I go? Is there a lock on this side of the gate?
The lock's on the other side of the gate, but you can reach your hands through and grab it.
Yeah, can I just... There's a feature whenever I punch things to do as an element. Can I just grab the lock and burn it and melt it?
Sure, let me look up what the AC of a lock is. It's a metal lock. It's whatever the lock would be if it was metal, I suppose. No. What is it called? What if I do door? No. Fuck, I don't remember. I don't remember what the thing is to search to like find the AC of a metal object, but
I get 26 cents.
sure. Your fist glows bright red and you punch into the lock itself. You manage to melt a good portion of it, but it's still holding fast.
I like look to Darius and like, come on.
I'll just fix this later. Then I just kind of just push on the fragile lock. Now just kind of just
With what?
my funny little
Your hammer? Okay. Make an attack roll for me. Okay. You clang smack the lock, your hammer glowing ever redder as you continue to smack it in the head. And eventually it comes undone and the chains fall to the ground. You guys can enter the property.
Come on.
yeah. I'll answer and I'll be like, I'll just fix it later.
Darius and Valerian.
Around the back, there's nothing, and on the inside, it looks empty. But that's obviously could be a lie.
Oh, I have one behind me. It's just some problem. Oh, the door's locked.
Mm-hmm. The door to the warehouse is currently locked.
Does it seem like it's just a block of a...
It appears to be locked from the inside. You don't see any visible means of entry from the outside.
Alright, suppose we have to force our way in. Don't like this. This is very much illegal.
I could just teleport in and unlock the door.
do that. I'd want to cause the least property damage possible, so if we turn out to be wrong here, we can just fix the gate and be done with it.
Misty Step. I just...
Well, Misty Step, you have to be able to see.
Yeah, there's windows all around the building.
And yeah, I just open the door.
Door's unlocked.
Plug them in.
Before we continue, the first lock they broke, how big is it?
It's a decent sized padlock. It's about the size of a fist.
So it will still fall under the category of proper target for mending.
I mean, it's melted to shit at this point.
Yeah, I'll have to fix it with my fucking channel divinity.
So,
Point being, a door is open.
You guys grab hold of the handles on the outside and slide the barn doors to the side, opening the interior for you all to explore.
Everyone, check for the red teardrop we saw before.
Got it.
Make investigation checks.
Whoever's rolling investigate, I'll give them guidance.
Everyone's rolling investigate.
Pick one person to give guidance to.
You know what? Fuck it. I'll give it to the other. No, and I'm not gonna. He could do him, so I'm gonna give it to David.
All right. It's a 23 instead of a 22. Okay. So you two, Glacier and Darius, you guys are searching through stuff, removing tarps and things. You find several crates that appear to be broken into from the top, and whatever contents inside were either discarded or taken elsewhere. But it's like something that's smashed through the top of several crates in this area. You can lift off the lids of a couple barrels. Find they appear to have like grain, sometimes whiskey, sometimes wine. Just like general trade commodities. Under all these tarps, there's like several pieces of furniture. There's a couple of tables, some chairs. Under one of them, there's like an ottoman, like a stool. With your 22, David, you notice that there's one crate that is bigger than the rest in the back of the room, over here.
He touches it, his hand sticks.
I don't get it.
It's not marked with anything for what it's worth. It's just it's a crate that seems like larger than any other crate that exists in this room.
I give it a good old open.
Okay, make a strength check.
Pain. Knew I should touch it with the mage hand. I had it.
By the way, you might want to move your token in so like you're in the building, Jay. Because you are where your token is.
He is where you
Oh.
is. All right.
Easy, or easy, my brother.
Leveraging Xenovor's longsword underneath the lid of the crate, you manage to pry open the top, and as you slide it off and look inside, there is a ladder that appears to descend down into the basement of this warehouse.
Hey, we found a thing.
Hey guys, I found something. I found a secret entrance to a basement.
Shh. Shut up. Shut up.
Oh, good. I thought you were going to say you found a mimic.
Oh, I suppose I'll go down first. So everyone follow me.
There's still time.
Oi, Jay, move your fucking token so you're not at the gate.
I'm having a little bit of technical difficulty. That's why I was keep on saying to people to somebody give guidance.
Then
So if you could
then
move
let
my
me know.
token for me.
Let me know where you want to be. Are you going down with them? Or are you staying up here? What are you doing?
I'm gonna go down with them because splitting the party is always a bad idea.
Okay.
I don't know, guys. There's this upstairs. I should probably check it out by myself.
Up to you.
I mean, sure. You'll be able to change characters a lot quicker.
Immediately kills off my character. Anyway.
All right. So I'm gonna say the four of you, right? Or is it just the three of you? Are you leaving Xenophore out, or are you bringing him down?
I'm bringing him in.
Oops.
So 5 of us.
Well, you're upstairs checking out the whatever.
I was saying that sarcastically.
Oh, really?
Yes.
You can go there too. Get your ass in the corner. Okay, so removing the top of the crate reveals a ladder that descends into a hidden basement beneath the warehouse. We already did that. Inside the cramped room at the bottom are several hammocks that have been torn from their moorings and lie in shreds on the floor. A splintered table is smashed in half in the center of the room, along with a scattering of papers and moldy food. On the far end of the space, a mannequin donning a familiar set of red leather armor has been knocked to the ground next to an overturned chest full of coins. Underfoot, a large floor rug has been spread over the bare stone, muffling your footsteps as you explore.
Everyone look around. I'm gonna check the papers.
Okay. Those
Same.
papers are a collection of letters and ledgers that are written in code and unintelligible.
Well, this code bullshit. Just write what you want to write what you're gonna fucking say, damn it.
I'm really regretting not being a rogue.
There's still time.
We have it, do we?
I'm also regretting that you're not being a rogue.
When
I'm regretting that.
when they're checking out the papers, what are the rest of you doing?
I'm going to keep an eye on the stairs or the ladder we climbed down.
Okay.
Just looking up, making sure, you know.
Can I try this?
You're a noble?
Yeah.
Yeah, sure, go for it.
Whoa.
Is that a treasure chest and a suit of armor? I'm sorry, I was distracted.
Yes, there's an upturned treasure chest that has sacks of gold in it, or coins in it rather, and then there is a suit of armor, a mannequin wearing the red leather armor of the Red Tide Assassins group. Knocked
Can
over
I
on the floor.
throw a dart at the treasure chest?
Sure. You from across the room huck a dart at the treasure chest. It sticks into the wood.
And then the same for the red leather armor.
Same thing. Roll to throw. Knife hits the armor.
Would Darius, can Darius help me with this?
Darius is not a code breaker, so no.
Okay. 24 plus 24.
Yeah. that's
27.
That is plenty. DC was relatively high, but you managed to pass it. The coded messages, after taking a cursory glance at them, you decipher that they are correspondences between different members of the Red Tide, particularly the one who was running this hideout and a couple of other ones who were running other hideouts elsewhere. So I'm gonna give you this one at a time because I have several of them, and that roll is going to count for one deciphering. The code is going to be different for each piece of paper. So the first one that you deciphered just now is correspondence between the leader of this hideout and another one in what was it? What was the name of it? Another hideout in Urnoi. It makes mention of Urnoi, which is to the northeast of here, near the border of Darvelia province and Suriname province. The message is using coded language. You were able to determine that they are talking about the logistics of moving people and products without being discovered.
Does it say how they do it, or just that they're doing it?
they don't want each other to have the same plan, so they're kind of messaging back and forth so that they don't both do the same thing and look suspicious when they arrive at their destination. So the one in Ernoi was like, my people don't necessarily need to bring a cart, so why don't you bring a cart and we'll just ride in on horses.
Okay.
What are you doing with the armor there?
I'm examining it, seeing if there's, because I am just kind of a paranoid person, and know like if you touch people's shit, you could get hit. From personal experience, don't want to talk about it. But like I just want to see if there's anything like what happen if I do anything with the armor, and then if not, I wanna try to take it.
Sure. Investigation check for me.
Absolutely. I don't. None of my other skills are good right now.
It is a set of red leather armor that is sized for a medium creature. You probably need adjustments to make it work for yourself, but that can be done easily enough. And it is
Don't touch the gold.
it is the red leather armor of the Red Tide. Now, this armor in particular does have some damage to it, where it appears that it took damage from some kind of bladed instrument recently. There's
I know a guy who can
blood
probably fix
around
that.
there's blood around where like the side of the body would be.
As Darius moves towards the gold, just like on the instinct, I just, don't touch the gold. But yeah, then I take the leather armor.
Okay, just add I believe it's studded leather.
Studded
Leather
tied
armor.
up.
I'm still gonna nudge the chest and the bags of gold with like the end of my mace.
Sure. They clink like bags of gold wood. There are 4 pouches of gold, some of which have opened and spilled onto the carpet.
So whoever owns this warehouse is affiliated with the Red Tide. That makes my job.
It could
Do
be
they have a
something.
date on that piece of paper? On how long ago they wrote that?
The papers are not dated
Does it
as
seem
far as you can
older?
tell.
Like,
There aren't any numbers that you can see.
Pocket those, bag those pagers.
we
Okay.
can keep deciphering them if we want to.
Yeah.
There's more pages.
Anything seem different about the gold wall, or is the gold just gold?
Just looks like gold. Looks like a pretty hefty sum too.
Should we take this? It's
People
Something
just
else.
don't just leave hoards. I mean,
I mean, they can't do if they believe the place is safe.
is the place safe?
It could easily be cursed or trapped.
That as well.
well,
Is your
let's.
detect magic still up?
No, detect magic would have gone away by now.
Would you mind
Thank God.
casting again, sir?
Yeah, let's take. Let's do.
I mean, I'll test it again.
Detect magic reveals nothing of importance in this room.
Okay.
I'm not
Well-
going to use the gold.
Take it if you want to.
Well, let's leave the gold for now. with the if we take the gold, it'll look like we're just robbing a place. But if we take the papers, we can say we're investigating.
We definitely broke into this place, so it doesn't really matter.
You may think it doesn't, but yes.
Cocks his head.
Let's go find out who owns this place and confront them, shall we?
What's your passive,
Yeah.
Valerian? Passive perception?
You mean check yourself?
Passive 17.
Okay. You're all leaving the room, correct?
I wait for all of them to leave, and then I look back at the gold, and I'm gonna make a wisdom save.
Okay.
Wisdom check or wisdom save?
For what? Grabbing it?
Yeah.
If you're fighting yourself on it, I'd say it would be a save. Probably. Yeah, I mean, you can either take it or not.
I think I convinced myself not to.
Okay. So, as you guys make your way up the ladder, let me put you guys kind of like around the crate here. Set you guys around. As you guys kind of reach the top of the ladder and are about to leave, you kind of feel this like pulse in the back of your minds, and your vision goes just a little bit wobbly, as if you were almost a little bit drunk. And recognizing immediately, because you still have your detect magic up, that this is some kind of magical effect, you immediately look around, David, for the source of this. And as you look around, perched up on a crate above your heads are two creatures with jaundiced skin pulled tightly over their spindly yet muscular frames. Where the nose would be on these creatures, there's only empty sockets, flanked by two pairs of reflective yellow eyes. Their mouths hang open, revealing rows of needle-like teeth stretched into a macabre grin, long protruding tongues dripping thick saliva onto the floor of the warehouse. At their sides, three pairs of elongated arms terminating in bony, clawed fingers hold them to the sides of the crates stacked around you. I'm going to drop their little tokens here where they are on the map and let you guys see what exactly they are.
Yeah, I guess we're gonna fight them next week because we've been going for about 4 hours.
Yes. So there's one perched on the crates up there. There's one perched up there. They're flanking you, and they are poised to strike, and that's where we're going to pick up next time.
Can you make their art in the Discord so I can see them a bit bigger? Cause
Sure. I can, or I'll just blow them up. How about that? I'll put one up there. Boom.
Oh my. That's a looker.
Yeah. It's like awful, gross, like hairless spider creatures are just ready to pounce on you. That's where we're going to pick up next time.
I was confident in my fucking passive perception, but dear God.
Oh, yeah. I rolled behind the scenes, and they got a natural 20 for 27 and a 21. So, no chance. We're going to start next time with a surprise round on their part after we roll initiative, and then we will pick up from there. In the meantime, I will see you guys next week. Good session, everybody. Bye-bye.